Owen built this business from scratch. Now it's all in the cloud. His ideas, his data, his future, which is fine. Until someone clicks on a link they shouldn't. BT Complete Cloud Secure protects your business online. It filters harmful sites and blocks malware from just £3.30 per user per month. Keeping Owen's business data, well, Owen's. Cybersecurity is everyone's business. Search BT Business Cybersecurity. T's and C's apply. Prices exclude VAT at 20%. 12-month minimum term applies.
You'll never forget seeing your kids on the slopes for the very first time.
I'm doing it! Look, I'm doing it!
Get that feeling and so much more with Crystal Ski Holidays. With free child places and Crystal childcare available, make magical memories together this winter. Choose from over 150 resorts and get everything sorted in one easy package. Find out more at crystalski.co.uk. ABTA and Atoll protected.
Private healthcare sounds pricey.
At Benenden Health, it's less than £16 per person per month.
Just for GP calls?
For a 24/7 GP helpline, physio, diagnostics and more. Now, tell me.
All about my medical history?
No medical questionnaires or hidden charges. We like to call it
healthcare done different.
Spot on. Benenden Health. Healthcare done different. Fee review periodically. 6-month wait for some services. T&Cs apply. Selected surgical procedures after 6 months. 24 in Northern Ireland. UK only. Visit benenden.co.uk.
You can't do much in under 5 minutes. Boil an egg? Sure. Cook a roast dinner? No chance. But comparing car insurance prices with mustard.co.uk? Easy. See what you could save in just a few minutes. Click mustard.co.uk. Authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. See website for details.
It's game day, and this is the home of Scottish football. It's Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Good afternoon and welcome to Clyde One Super Scoreboard. It's League Cup semi-final weekend with Motherwell and St Mirren taking centre stage today before Celtic and Rangers face off tomorrow. In the Premiership, Hearts have the chance to go 9 points clear when they play Dundee this afternoon. Falkirk take on Kilmarnock and Livingston host Hibs. I'm Andrew Maclean. Joining me in the studio are Gordon Dalziel, Simon Donnelly and Hugh Keevins.
A breathtaking week. Brendan Rodgers gone from Celtic, slaughtered in print by Dermot Desmond in a volcanic statement from the club's principal shareholder, and no let up in tension and excitement this afternoon. Hearts can go 9 points clear of Celtic, 14 points clear of Rangers if they beat Dundee at Tynecastle, and Hibs, they can go above Rangers into third place if they win against Livingston. But Hibs' problem is scoring goals. Did you know Kieran Bowie has 1 goal in his last 11 games, none at all in his last 7? Daz, research. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely brilliant information, Hugh. But as you said there, quite rightly so, never a dull moment Scottish football. Headlines this week: Brendan Rodgers leaving and Martin O'Neill coming back at the ripe old age of 73. So there's still hope for Mr. Keevins and Mr. DL. I'm looking forward to semi-finals. I think they'll be absolutely brilliant. Very hard to call. A lot of important games in the league. And if you look all down the league's championship, all the way down to League 2, important games, even in League 2, first v second, Spartans v East Kilbride, lots to get on with.
Absolutely. Another quiet week in Scottish football. We've been discussing Rangers managers for the last few weeks, and then all of a sudden this week, Monday, I could not believe it, Brendan Rodgers' exit brings back Martin O'Neill. We go back 20 years. I was at the game on Wednesday night. I actually thought there was a little bit of improvement from Celtic, but a big one tomorrow.
Yeah, your 3 o'clock games in the Premiership: Hearts against Dundee, Livingston against Hibs, Falkirk against Kilmarnock. Then later on, Motherwell and St Mirren, as I said, taking centre stage in what is a massive League Cup semi-final for the two of those clubs, Hugh.
Yeah, the incentive, of course, a game against one half of the Old Firm. Once upon a time, a cup final appearance against either half of the Old Firm and you were automatically the underdog. Not necessarily the case the way things are going right now. So massive incentive for Motherwell and St Mirren. 5:30 kick-off, Hampden.
Yes, huge game tomorrow. So many storylines to go alongside that one. We will preview that a bit more in depth very shortly, but there is Premiership action to get to preview. Let's start by going to Tynecastle and speaking to Fraser Wishart for Hearts against Dundee.
Yeah, you guys have opened up the show with the thoughts of Hearts being 9 points ahead at the end of the day, with Celtic of course not playing in the league this weekend, so Tynecastle will be rocking, I think, after that great win against Celtic. And although they dropped points in midweek against St Mirren, I think it turned out to be a good point in the end, coming back from a goal down twice. Paisley's not been a happy hunting ground for Hearts in recent years, and Derek McInnes chose not to change his team in the last few weeks and in midweek, and I think they're going to need the squad players this season, get some match fitness into them, get some minutes into them. He's made 3 changes today, but he has a depth of squad to do that without weakening his team. For example, young James Wilson, Scotland cap this time last year, unable to get on the bench recently and even today. So important though to keep the run going. You can't contemplate, if you're a Hearts fan, not following up on recent results and that victory here last Sunday with a draw or a loss, especially against Dundee, who've actually only won 2 points on the road this season. I saw them last week against Falkirk. They were good in the first half but struggled in the second. Stephen Presley, of course, great captain here, he knows how Hearts will play, and I think he'll play a bit more defensively and try and hit on the break, try to frustrate Hearts, turn the fans against the club a wee bit or start to moan a wee bit. And he'll remember a few weeks ago when they went to Pittodrie and tried to play a more open game, they ended up with a 4-0 defeat, and he took the blame for that. Strange league table, when Dundee took the lead at Falkirk last weekend, they were third. And if they lose today and Livy win, they could be joint bottom. I think Dundee would take a point right now. So the start of the game, as always, here at Tynecastle will be very important. If Hearts get the steam up, get some momentum going, and a goal ahead in the first 20-25 minutes, it could be a difficult day for Dundee. As I said earlier, 3 changes by Derek McInnes. Out go Kingsley, Halkett and Braga, who dropped to the bench. In comes Steinbender, Spittle and Landry Kabore. Their usual 4-4-2 formation. Alexander Schwoloff is in goals. Back 4, Ushin McEntee, Michael Steinbender, Stuart Finlay and Harry Milne back to his usual position at left back. Blair Spittle, Benny Beningame, Cammy Devlin and Alexandros Kizaridis across the middle, with Pierre Landry Kabore and Lawrence Shankland as the strikers. The subs: Craig Gordon, Stephen Kingsley, Craig Halkett, Elton Kabangu, Claudio Braga, Christian Bortsgrevnik, Alan Forrest, Thomas Bent Magnuson and Saba Kertoja. Just a one change for Dundee from that defeat last weekend. Out go Luke Graham, who's on to the bench, and in comes Billy Kumetio. So they're 3-4-3, or it could be 5-4-1 when they've not got the ball. John McCracken in goals, Ryan Astley, Clark Robertson and Billy Kumetio at the back. Dre Wright, Paul Digby, Ethan Hamilton and Mary Samuel across the middle, with Cameron Congreve, Simon Murray and Joe Westley up front. Their substitutes: Kieran O'Hara, Ethan Ingram, Emil Aqua, Finlay Robertson, Ashley Hay, Tony Yogani, Charlie Riley, Luke Graham and Callum Jones. And the referee today at Tynecastle's Kevin Clancy, and VAR is Grant Irvin.
I call them the champions elect, but I thought the champions elect got away with one in Paisley on Wednesday night. The goal that would have put St Mirren 3-1 up, disallowed. Why? Anybody's guess. It's another job for Gordon Duncan and Willie Collum later on. But they got away with one with that draw, and now they have to live with the pressure today, Andrew, of people saying Hearts are going to go 9 points clear of Celtic, 14 clear of Rangers. What if they don't?
Yeah, I think it was 6 games running that Derek McInnes had named the same starting 11. He's made some changes today at home to Dundee off the back of a draw. Does that feel maybe like the right time to mix it up?
Yeah, possibly. I was just talking to Daz there about the impact that the new guys have had at Hearts. They've been really good to watch at times. Obviously beat Celtic last week, and I take Fraser Bishop's point. Maybe on reflection they'll maybe look back and it'll be a good point during the week, because they were trailing there and they did ride their luck with the VAR decision. But I think they'll win today. I think they'll win at home.
It shows the depth that Hearts have, because Hearts fans haven't seen too much of Pierre Landry Kabore, who comes in for Claudio Braga today. Claudio Braga has been such a success in the early parts of this campaign, but I think what Hearts fans have wanted to see Kabore, because during the last international break he came off the bench for Burkina Faso, for Dango Ouattara, who I think Bournemouth spent £40 million on in the summer. Came off the bench and scored a hat-trick. So he's clearly got something about him. He's just not been given the chance really as much as he would have liked, because Hearts been so good this season.
Yeah, I think Derek's looked at obviously the programme. 3 games this week, one in midweek, which was a difficult one in Paisley. Obviously the Celtic one would have taken a bit out of the squad as well. He's rotated. That's why Hearts are in a far different place this year than Aberdeen were last year. You look at that squad, they're stronger, they've got quality. You fancy them to go 9 points today. But do you know something? Dundee are the most awkward team. They go to Ibrox. I know Rangers weren't in a good place. They got a good result, could have won it. They beat Celtic. I wouldn't be surprised if they could go there, dig in deep and maybe even get a point.
There is chat, I think it would be external from fans of other clubs, social media as well, that Hearts slipped up midweek. Is that the bubble burst? But Hearts still, I mean, first of all, going to Paisley is not easy for any team under any circumstance. To come away with a point the way the game has gone and still have the chance to go 9 points clear, put extra pressure on the teams behind them, it's still big, isn't it?
Well, when St Mirren scored what they thought was the goal to put them 3-1 up, the Nokia pinged, and it was the first message to say bottles crashed already. Of course, the goal's disallowed. As Simon and the Dazzler agree, a point in the end was a good result for Hearts. But today, you have to assume the mantle of a team going for the title. I know what Daz has said about Dundee. They beat Celtic in a canter. They very nearly beat Rangers at Ibrox in the Russell Martin short-lived era. But today, they're at home, Hearts, against a bottom six club. There can be no messing about in front of a full house.
It's simple as that, Simon. It's still early in the season, whether people want to say Hearts are favourites or title contenders or whatever. But if you do want to win a league title, at home to Dundee is the type of games you need to be winning. Yeah,
they're the ones you have to win. They've done really well till now. We're 10 games in, Andrew, and they're 6 points clear. They have to win today, and that's going to be a whole new pressure for Hearts if they go longer into the season, particularly if they get into the second half of the season in the same position. These are the pressures that come with leading. These are the pressures that come with trying to win a title. The players won't have experienced that before. The new guys coming in have certainly added something to it, but that will be a mentality thing the further the season goes on.
2 more Premiership games to bring you at 3 o'clock. Let's go to the Falkirk Stadium. Falkirk against Kilmarnock with Roger Hannah.
Yeah, and that 4-0 defeat for Falkirk to Martin O'Neill's Celtic in midweek. It ended a run of back-to-back league wins, and it also meant John Maclean at 63 no longer the elder statesman of managers in the top flight. 73-year-old O'Neill taking that honour, Andrew. Killie 1-0 home defeat to Aberdeen on Wednesday night. That was their third straight loss in the top flight. They're down in 8th place below Falkirk, but a win today would lift them over the Bairns. Bit of an injury list building up for Stuart Kettlewell though. No Max Stryake out for 16 weeks. No Lewis Mayo, Jamie Brandon, Jack Thompson, Matty Kennedy, Gennaro Daniels or Marley Watkins, and he shakes the Killie team up today in terms of personnel and in terms of system. Bizarrely, the last 4 meetings between these clubs have been in the Challenge Cup, the League Cup and the Premiership playoff final. They've not met in the league for over 15 years. The last meeting here in February 2010, a 1-0 Kilmarnock win and a clean sheet for, wait for it, Cammy Bell. Falkirk's last home league win against Killie was way back, February 1996 at Brockville. So long ago that one Maurice Johnson was leading the lines for the Bairns. The current favourite, Scott Arfield, he turns 37 years of age today. He says thanks for his card, Daz. And John Maclean has marked the occasion by dropping him. He's one of 4 changes from that defeat at Celtic Park. Out go Arfield, Tate, Ross and Samuel Ogunsoye. In come Cartwright, Wilson, McKeever and Williams. So the side starts Scott Bain in goals, the same back 4. Keelan Adams, Connor Allen, Liam Henderson and Philip Lisa. Then Brad Spencer, Henry Cartwright with Ethan Williams, Kyrell Wilson and Calvin Miller in behind Ross McKeever. On the bench it's Hogarth, Oliver and Graham, Aguiman, Tate and Hart, Ross, Samuel Ogunsoye and the birthday boy Arfield. 3 changes for Killie after that Don's defeat. Out go Kilty, Porworth and Williams. In come Mackenzie, Tiffany and Anderson. So it's a system change from the usual 3 at the back to a flat back 4. Toby Oluwayemi on loan from Celtic, he's in goal. It's a back 4, Ben Brannan, George Stanger, Robbie Dees and Dom Thompson. Then Rory McKenzie, David Watson, Brad Lyons and Scott Tiffany with Bruce Anderson and Marcus Dackers up front. On the bench, Beach, Williams and Kilty, Polworth, Lowry and Leslie, John Jules, James Brown and Ethan Shield-Brown. The referee is David Dickinson, the VAR is John Beaton, and thankfully the rain has stopped, Andrew.
Yeah, it was a heavy defeat for Falkirk midweek, but these things happen. It's not going to be something that John Maclean will dwell on at all, especially given the fact that it has been a positive start to the season as a newly promoted club.
I was saying to Simon earlier that the atmosphere at Celtic Park was quite something. The crowd was bigger than I thought it would be. They were more enthusiastic than I thought they would be. I thought they'd be flat after the departure of Brendan Rodgers and all that had afflicted the club over a 48-hour period. Falkirk get caught up in it and were thumped. But today they're playing a team who have 3 defeats on the bounce. They, defensively speaking, they couldn't keep pigeons out of a loft, and that is where Falkirk have to take advantage of them today, and I think they will.
Hard one to call. I watched Kilmarnock midweek against Aberdeen. Second half I thought played very well, created a lot of chances but not putting the ball in the back of net. Hugh's right, they're not getting in with a lot of confidence. Great incentive for Falkirk. If they win today because of the fixtures, they could get into fifth. You would never imagine that at the beginning of the season. I was one that thought they were going to be in real trouble and get relegated. I still think they'll be down there, but a great incentive for them. I think it'll be a good game. I think these games are very hard to call today.
Yeah, the table is so tight, Simon, and this is the point you really want to make sure you get those victories, because at some point the gaps will start to form. You want to make sure you're on the right side of those gaps when they do start to form. Yeah, definitely. And listen, I think John Maclean will be happy with the way Falkirk have started. They're sitting there in 7th place. They've got 3 wins. They've only lost 4. And I think the game at midweek, they did okay for the first part of the game, and I think Schmeichel had a really good save at 1-0, but really once Celtic got the goal, and certainly the second, they took control of the game. But I think he said it himself, these games at Parkhead won't define Falkirk's season. These ones will. These ones are against the likes of Kilmarnock at home, where they'll look to take maximum points. That's what's made the Premiership so exciting so far this season. That, what is it, 6 points separating 3rd and 11th at the moment?
Yeah, it's luckily for me, it's unpredictable. So I'm not as bad.
So you can blame your predictions on something.
Yeah, I can blame it on bad football players, which is always a comfort. But as a Dazzler said, the 3 games today are hard to call. The semi-finals hard to call. I've already called the big match tomorrow, and I'll tell you about that later.
Your final 3 o'clock offering at the home of the Set Fair Arena, Livingston against Hibs. Lindsay Heron.
Yeah, good afternoon, Andrew. Livingston against Hibs. They only played each other just a couple of weeks ago, of course, at Easter Road. Hibs running out 4-0 winners that day. Junior Hoylett grabbing 2 of the goals rather, and he just loves playing against Livy. He scored 2 when he was at Aberdeen and set up another 2 in a 3rd game for Aberdeen, so he'll be looking forward to coming off the bench to cause some trouble for Hibs this afternoon. Hibs, of course, trying to get back on track after losing that midweek game to Rangers 1-0. Jamie McGrath missing a penalty late on, which would have given them a point. Their first home defeat, of course, in nearly a year. Livingston, they've just won 1 and lost 5 of their past 7 league meetings with Hibs, and they haven't won a game in the Premiership for 9 matches. Looking a bit fragile at the bottom of the Premiership, that's for sure. And the last time there was a home win in this fixture was back in August 2022. A couple of changes for Livy. Lewis Smith and Mo Susoho come in for Macaulay Tate and Robbie Muirhead. So they'll go with Jerome Pryor in goal. Back 4 of Josh Brennett, Danny Finlayson, Danny Wilson and Christian Montano. Lewis Smith and Mo Silla, followed by Mo Susoho, Scott Pittman and Stevie May, with Jeremy Bokila up front. On the bench for Livy, Jack Hamilton, Robbie Muirhead, Graham Carey, Junior Robinson, Andy Shinnie, Macaulay Tate, Sam Colbert, Tete Yenge and Sammy Lawal. Hibs, they've got 3 changes today. Martin Boyle is back. He makes a starting position for David Gray's side. The Cadden brothers are out, and also a place for Jordan Obita up front, with Kieran Bowie, that Hugh mentioned earlier in the show, can't buy a goal in recent matches. He's been left out as well by David Gray. So Hibs will go with Raphael Salinger in goal, a back 3 of Rocky Bushiri, Grant Hanley and Jack Iredale. Daniel Barlasser just in front of them. Then Martin Boyle, Josh Mulligan, Jamie McGrath and Chaiwa on the left hand side of midfield, with Jordan Obita and Tipo Klidje up front. On the bench for Hibs, Jordan Smith, Ellie Ewan, Kieran Bowie, Chris Cadden, Nicky Cadden, Junior Hoylett as we mentioned, Zach Mitchell and Megwa and Campbell. Referee today's Callum Scott, and Andrew Dallas is the VAR.
Yeah, it is, what's that, 2:20, so I think we can say this out loud because we know that Marvin Bartley is going to be busy and not listening to the show. It's been a torrid time recently for Livingston. I think 8 without a win in the Premiership at the moment.
Yeah, they're struggling. They've got to try and get something. Lindsay touched on the last time they played at Easter Road 4-0. Hibs went there in August, I think, 17th, and beat them 2-0 comfortably at 2-0, and changed a lot of the side that day. It's a big task for Livy. They need something to kickstart their season. They're just going along. Don't get me wrong, there's been a couple of games they've lost late goals, lack of concentration, bad mistakes, whatever it may be. But David Martindale needs that to turn soon, because I know it's still early, November 1st, but you're starting to lose ground now in teams above you.
But his misfortune is that Hibs have done the right thing today. They got Martin Boyle back on the case, because Kieran Bowie's record did not justify him getting a game. As I say, 1 goal in his last 11 matches, none at all in his last 7. So he is correctly dropped to the bench, and he might have cost £1 million, but Thibaut Clige was hopeless against Rangers in midweek, throwing himself all over the place, missed an absolute sitter, a couple of dull ones early on from John Souttar, and he didn't want to know.
Hugh, just quickly touching on Kieran Bowie, right? I watched the game on Wednesday night, and I'm not surprised he's not scoring goals. He's the only striker I know that never plays in the box. Now, the one thing about Hibs is they've got great delivery from the wide areas. They get it into the box early. He's tailor-made to go and challenge and go and win headers and do whatever he's doing. He's never in the box. I'm not surprised he's left out.
Hibs might go into this with a bit of frustration, just given how that game ended midweek as well, Simon.
Yeah, because I think they would have fancied their chances against Rangers, who obviously haven't started the season well, and I think they would have been into the game at Easter Road thinking they could have got something. Rangers score early in the game, and by all accounts, Hibs kind of huffed and puffed throughout the 90 minutes. I quite like the guy Kieran Bowie. He's on a run at the moment that strikers don't need. But I seen him at Celtic Park last year, and he gave Carter Vickers a bit of a hard time. However, I think Livingston today will look at it as an opportunity, especially with Dundee at Tynecastle. They could maybe get off the bottom of the league, but as Daz says, they need to try and get some results as quick as possible.
Well, those are your 3 o'clock kickoffs. We will give you further preview to those matches before they kick off, and of course we'll bring you all the action throughout the games. But as always at this time on a Saturday, we will bring all the guys in and look at some of the biggest talking points across the week. I think it might be a busy 15-20 minutes, Hugh.
You bet.
With Betfred, when you bet £10, you get £50 in free bets. So, want to back your new striker to score the first goal? Your midfield maestro to get the assist? Want to say there'll be a header? Want to see their striker caught offside? He was born offside. Want to predict the final score? Or both teams to score? Want to get involved for 90 minutes? Want to nick it in extra time? Want to bet £10 and get £50 in free bets? Want to bet? Betfred. New online customers only. 5 £10 free bets. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Hey business owners, the digital switchover is coming, and it's not just for business landlines. CCTV, payment systems and alarms could be affected. We urge you to switch to digital with BT by December 2025. You'll also benefit from faster connections, greater security and cost savings sooner. We'll help make the switch as smooth as possible, so you can spend more time doing what you do best, running your business. Start your switch to digital with BT today. BT Business is urging customers to migrate off the old PSTN by the end of 2025. The final closure date for PSTN is 31st of Jan 2027.
Save £788 on the epic Samsung Galaxy S25 on EE. Talk it out live with Gemini. Just point your camera and ask away.
Like how to make this pie vegan?
You betcha.
Or what colour paint will match my sofa?
In an instant.
Too easy.
Plus, you'll get stay-connected data because powerful AI deserves the UK's best network. Offer ends 24th November.
Savings across contract and device. Terms and credit check apply. Credit by EE Limited. Verify best network at ee.co.uk/claims.
Private healthcare sounds pricey.
At Benenden Health, it's less than £16 per person per month.
Just for GP calls.
For a 24/7 GP helpline, physio, diagnostics and more. Now, tell me.
All about my medical history.
No medical questionnaires or hidden charges. We like to call it
healthcare done different.
Spot on. Benenden Health. Healthcare done different. Fee review periodically. 6-month wait for some services. T&Cs apply. Selected surgical procedures after 6 months. 24 in Northern Ireland. UK only. Visit benenden.co.uk.
You'll never forget seeing your kids on the slopes for the very first time.
I'm doing it, look, I'm doing it.
Get that feeling and so much more with Crystal Ski Holidays. With free child places and Crystal childcare available, make magical memories together this winter. Choose from over 150 resorts and get everything sorted in one easy package. Find out more at crystalski.co.uk. APTA and Atoll protected.
Ever wondered what power is? Power is transforming the sun into your own energy source. Power is getting energy companies to pay you. Power is enjoying your morning coffee, knowing you created the energy to make it. Well, you and the colossal ball of fire in the sky. Because with solar panels from Hive, the sun works for you. Hive, know your power. May not cover all electricity usage, roof and weather dependent. Paid for surplus requires eligible SCG tariff.
What's on TV? The answer is a lot. There's never been more choice over what to put on the box with an abundance of great new shows, but you can miss them all if you don't know where to look. And that's where the Pilot TV podcast comes in, your essential guide to every show that matters. Each week we sift through the very best in prestige TV to help you decide what's worth spending your time on and what isn't. So join me, James Dyer, as well as venerable TV critics Boyd Hilton and Kay Ribeiro, and let us help take the stress out of your downtime. The Pilot TV podcast, because you can't watch everything.
The team with the biggest support in Glasgow and the West. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Hearts against Dundee, Livingston against Hibs and Falkirk against Kilmarnock are your 3 o'clock games in the Scottish Premiership today, and then it is on to League Cup semi-final duty. Motherwell against St Mirren is the evening kick-off, and then tomorrow, Hugh Keevins, there will be a game in 2025 between Celtic and Rangers that Martin O'Neill is in the dugout for Celtic, and he's up against a manager half his age in Danny Rule. If you told someone that a month ago, a few weeks ago, they've been saying, what on earth are you talking about?
Danny Rule, 11 years old when Martin O'Neill had his first Old Firm derby. 11. But he's a big boy now. He's 36. He's all the man he'll ever be. And he's got to face up to Martin. It's been an astonishing week. Just before 10 o'clock on Monday night, Gordon Duncan texted me to say there's a strong rumour that Brendan Rodgers is gone. And 10 minutes later, it was all over the place. And the Celtic supporters, some believed it was time. I think the majority might have believed it was time for Brendan to end his relationship with Celtic. What I will say though, the manner of his departure, the statement from Dermot Desmond was, for me, unacceptable. Brendan Rodgers won 11 of 13 trophies he contested as Celtic manager. He deserved better than was said of him in that statement. It wasn't a great week in that regard from Celtic. John Kennedy left after 27 years. Not so much as a public thank you from the club. Martin O'Neill then comes in for the first time in 20 years. A legend at the club. The man who took Celtic to a European final in Seville. And there he is with Sean Maloney in the press room at Celtic Park. Where was the chairman, Peter Lawwell? Where was the chief executive, Michael Nicholson? One of them should have been there to say, we are delighted to welcome back to the club Martin O'Neill. So in terms of PR, it's been a disaster for Celtic.
It was a good start to life in interim charge for Celtic for Martin O'Neill. Tomorrow is a very different story, a different proposition.
Yeah, one he'll look forward to. I was very lucky to go up against him when he was a manager of Celtic way back in 2002 in a semi-final in the Scottish Cup, and he made a big impression on me. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. Look, he's not going to get in there and do all the coaching. That's what Sean Maloney's there for. He'll get in there. His man managing is absolutely brilliant. He'll give everybody a lift. Big game tomorrow, difficult one. Hugh was touching on Brendan Rodgers Monday. Look, I thought it was coming. I didn't think it was coming Monday. I thought that you look at the Falkirk game, then you look at the semi-final tomorrow. If he'd have lost against Rangers, I could have seen it coming in this Monday, but everybody was taken by shock. Martin O'Neill's in there short term. Who's next for Celtic?
Yeah, football moves on so quickly that Martin O'Neill was in the dugout with his tracksuit on and his copas midweek. You were at the game. Simon, what did you see that was maybe different from a Brendan Rodgers Celtic side?
Well, first of all, I missed him at Celtic by about a year. Otherwise I might have found myself in the dugout on Wednesday night with him with his coaching staff. But listen, it's great to see him back. I've only met him in recent times. Very charismatic, good company. But football terms, experience, the experience at this club, and you talk about steadying the ship, and probably that would have been needed after Monday and everything that came with that. Him and Sean Maloney did well on Wednesday night. I know it's the same players, but there was little bits of tweaking there. I thought the ball was getting played forward a little bit more than normal. I covered most of the games with Celtic. I thought they were putting crosses in. At the start of the game, a wee bit of the long balls didn't have the quality, but as the game grew and they got the 2 goals and they got the confidence, I thought it was a good performance for Celtic. But again, it goes out the window tomorrow. It's another massive game for them, and there's none more experienced in the dugout than Martin O'Neill.
Yeah, so much experience in Martin O'Neill, Roger Hannah, and the other dugout in terms of experience as a head coach. Danny Rule, not so much. This will be one of the biggest, maybe if not the biggest game of his managerial career so far.
Yeah, and I'm surprised Martin and Danny haven't been on to yourself and Hugh to find out what it's like going up against somebody half your age at the weekend. It will be fantastic. When Russell Martin and Brendan Rodgers played out that Boarfest at Ibrox a couple of months ago, I wonder what price you would have got on the next Old Firm meeting. Danny Rowe 36 and Martin O'Neill 73, going toe to toe for a place in the Premier Sports Cup final. It is peak Scottish football. I did the show on Monday night, Andrew, with Gordon and Andy Halliday, and with a lot of Celtic fans, irate Celtic fans, after the defeats of Hearts, coming on, questioning whether or not Brendan Rodgers had a future at the football club. Less than 2 hours later, I mean, the shockometer, Brendan's departure itself, probably 8 out of 10. Martin's arrival 9 out of 10, and as Hugh says, the Dermot Desmond statement was about 15 out of 10 on the shockometer. It has been a sensational week in Scottish football. A win for Celtic under Martin O'Neill, a win for Rangers, and a clean sheet away from home for Danny Rule, and it sets everything up perfectly for 2 o'clock tomorrow at Hampden. They couldn't be separated a couple of months ago in the league. It took penalties to separate them in the cup final last December, and don't be surprised if it goes all the way tomorrow.
Yeah, winning in football kind of fixes everything, doesn't it, Fraser? And if Martin O'Neill goes to Hampden tomorrow and beats Rangers, then some people may forget what happened on Monday night. As for Danny Rule, could make himself an instant hero with the Rangers supporters if he can get one over their closest rivals.
Yeah, I'm quite intrigued by the Danny Rule appointment. Be interested to see how he goes. Spoke to a couple of my colleagues who work for the English PFA down south, who work alongside, work with the Sheffield Wednesday players, and he was very popular with everybody at that football club, and did a really good job of lifting the team out of relegation zones, etc. So he's missed there, and they missed by the players, missed by the staff, etc. So he seems to have a way about him to bring people with him, and I've been intrigued to see how he goes. But tomorrow is just about winning games, as you said, and it's really difficult to predict who's going to win because neither team are in good fettle. But Martin O'Neill's come in. I think it's a sensible point. Very surprised, but he's good at dealing with the media. He's good at dealing with his supporters. He speaks well. I think it was Daz was saying earlier on, even in his peak years, he didn't take a lot of the training. In fact, probably none. It was John Roberts and Steve Walford. So the same as Sean Maloney and one or two others who put Mark Fotheringham part of his team as well. So they'll want it to be, I think, Celtic a short-term solution. And tomorrow, if they win, that might buy the board a wee bit more time to look at getting a replacement. And if they lose and don't play well, then I think the pressure will begin to be on the board again to see, well, you must have known Brendan was going to go at some point. Who's your identified replacement? I think they'll go for a kind of coach type, somebody who's going to come in and coach the team while the recruitment team and others bring in the players. But if they lose tomorrow, I think Celtic will have to move very quickly.
Yeah, Martin O'Neill said yesterday in his pre-match press conference, Gordon, that he would happily take a lousy 1-0 win tomorrow. Danny Rule would also happily take a lousy 1-0 win. He got a 1-0 win against Hibs midweek. It wasn't a classic by any means, but it was a good win at a tough venue. It really doesn't matter how the game pans out tomorrow, how the winner is scored, whether it goes to penalties, just as long as
getting to a final. Getting to a final, it's as simple as that. Semi-finals are the hardest games. Sid will tell you, Fraser, we've all been there. It's just about winning the performance. Yeah, you would like to put on a good performance. We don't want the same game as we got the last time the two teams met, because that was a bore-fest. But I think it'll be better tomorrow. I like the way the Rangers manager's come in. He's tweaked the formation as well, went to that 3. Look, it wasn't a classic at Easter Road, but what I liked about him, the minute he walked in the door, he says the most important thing is winning, and he's correct. If he goes and gets a win tomorrow and gets him into the final, all of a sudden his Rangers career and the fans right behind him are going brilliantly. But it's the same for Martin O'Neill as well, and Sid's quite right. Nobody more experienced in a dugout than Martin O'Neill.
We'll be interested to see if Danny Rule sticks with that back 3 that he's played in the last couple of games.
Yeah, I think he will, because back-to-back wins for the first time this season, going through to Easter Road. As I say, Hibs have been doing okay. It's a good result there for them, and I think they will be feeling a lot better about themselves going into this game tomorrow. I think Celtic will, on the back of the game on Wednesday night. It's very hard to predict because both teams have struggled to find form this season. it's a tough one.
See, that's interesting you say that, right? Because I think everybody will be looking at Rangers' formation tomorrow, the three. Kasama is probably one of their best players now. Where do you fit him in to a three? It's got to be difficult. I know that Moore played just in behind and caused Hibs a few problems without even being on the ball, just positionally. But I thought Moore done all okay. It'll be interesting to see if he starts tomorrow. But if he goes for a three, you just wonder, Kasama, where does he fit into that formation?
And the front three for Celtic, will Daisen Maeda play from the start? Johnny Kenny get 2 goals midweek. Will he start the game? I think he will. And what price to Nekti starting, to the exclusion of, for example, a James Forrest or Balikwisha? Many selection issues for Martin O'Neill and Sean Maloney to deal with. But the nightmare scenario for Celtic is Dundee lose to Hearts today. Hearts go 9 points clear of Celtic. Celtic lose tomorrow. There's no Premier Sports Cup to play for. Fraser Wishart's right. At that point, tension rises. And the question is not, isn't it great to see Martin O'Neill back? The question is, when's Martin O'Neill going and a manager coming in here?
Then if the dream scenario happens for Celtic, I wonder if any Celtic fans think, well, a 4-0 win midweek, then beating Rangers in a cup semi-final, could Martin O'Neill do a job for a bit longer?
Yeah, look, I think there'll be Celtic fans out there and Sunday night, if they get into the final, saying just give the job to Martin to the end of the season. But he can't, it's impossible. Martin's already come out and said, look, short term for me, you've got the January window as well. I think they have to get somebody in place. I think Hugh and Fraser's right. It all depends on tomorrow. If they win tomorrow, it gives them a bit of breathing space. If they don't win tomorrow, all of a sudden desperation's kicking in.
A new manager has to be in place soon in order to prepare for the January transfer window, because he has to assess the squad, who's staying, who's going, how many players do we need. And you don't achieve that by Martin O'Neill staying for the January transfer window. No matter what happens tomorrow at Hampden, you need the new manager in, and he needs to assess the squad and dictate, and I underline dictate, what happens in the transfer window, because the last transfer window was a shambles.
The winner of Celtic against Rangers tomorrow, Roger Hannah, will play the winner of Motherwell against St Mirren tonight. That is a huge game and a massive opportunity for both clubs.
And it is, and it's a fantastic fixture. It's a real contrast of styles, Andrew. You know, James Bertalascu has been hailed since he came into the club, not just for keeping Andy Halliday on the bench, but for the style of play that he's brought at Fir Park. I know Gordon Duncan and Gordon Dalziel particularly excited at getting to look at it on that big Hampden surface. St Mirren, nobody knows Motherwell better than Stephen Robinson, having taken them to 2 cup finals. He gets a wee bit annoyed when people talk about his side style. When we talk about it, though, we're not talking about it in a derogatory manner. We're talking about it as being especially effective. That 3-5-2, everyone knows their roles within it. He's got 3, if you pardon the use of the word, dogs in the middle of the park, and Phillips, O'Hara and Bacchus. He's got a couple of, whoever he plays up front, whether it's in Lundaloo, whether it's Mandron or Ayunga, he's got a couple of big guys up there, and he's got 3 solid centre halves, wing backs going up and down. It's a real contrast of styles. I've been surprised how many people have said to me, Andrew, they fancy Motherwell, because honestly I couldn't split them. Nothing would surprise me in that semi at 5:30. I'm looking forward to hearing David Friel's preview of the game later on, and nothing would surprise you tomorrow. I've been pressed in the Scottish Sun for a prediction. I've gone for 2-1 Rangers tomorrow, and the caveat is anything could really happen. It's going to be a great weekend of semi-final action.
What a day it is for the Motherwell and St Mirren supporters, getting that day out at Hampden. But what would top that is winning and getting the big day out at Hampden.
Yeah, it's a great incentive for both teams. Usually when teams like Motherwell, St Mirren get to a semi-final of the tournament, you come up against a Celtic or Rangers and the odds are stacked against you. This is 50-50 today. It's that important a game that Gordon Duncan's taking a day off to go and support Motherwell. So that shows to everyone.
Gordon Dalziel is here in the studio and not anywhere near Hampden. What's happened there?
Yeah, unfortunately I've hurt my leg, so I couldn't walk across the road to Fir Park.
Doesn't even know where the game is. Doesn't even know where the game is.
Not to get the supporters bus. You didn't let me finish there.
I applaud my fellow hack Roger Hannah, who has declared himself 2-1 Rangers. They made me dress up as the Grim Reaper last night on Super Scoreboard. I have no idea why, but
you were dressed like that anyway, weren't you? You were just going about your day normally.
Yeah, well, dressed as the Grim Reaper, I delivered the grim news for the Celtic fans. I'm taking Rangers 3-1.
Well, we will find out tomorrow what the score in that game is going to be. We'll have more build up to that. We'll have more build up to Motherwell against St Mirren later on as well. But we'll go back around the grounds for the 3 o'clock Premiership.
Action as it happens. And your reaction from 5 on the open line. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Less than 15 minutes to go until the 3 o'clock kickoffs across the Scottish Premiership and down the divisions as well. In the top flight is Hearts against Dundee, Livingston against Hibs, and Falkirk against Kilmarnock. It is, of course, Premier Sports Cup semi-final weekend. Motherwell against St Mirren is the late kick-off this evening, and then we just touched on the fact that it is, of course, Celtic against Rangers tomorrow. We will get back to previewing those 2 games a bit later, but let's go back around the grounds first of all. Let's start with Livingston against Hibs, Lindsay Heron, and the home of the Set Fair Arena has been a tough place for teams to go in previous seasons when Livingston have been in the top division, but maybe hasn't proven to be so far this season.
No, exactly, Andrew. And I think it could be down to the fact that they're maybe not as physical as they used to be. They used to be a real tough outfit to try and deal with, a lot of physicality in the side, strength and power. But they don't seem to be quite as strong as they were. I think teams are finding it a lot easier to come and play here than they used to do, like you say. Davy Martindale believes they've been unlucky in many ways. They've had very close games at times, losing by the odd goal, even Rangers scoring late here, of course, not that long ago. Although the last time they played Hibs, of course, they were well beaten at Easter Road 4-0. They desperately need something to get them going. 9 games without a win. So, I think they're hoping to try and grab something today, but I can't really see anything for them. Hibs looking very, very strong up front again, with Martin Boyle coming in to partner Thibaut Clige. That'll be quite a potent and a quick front line for Hibs to deal with, for Livy to deal with.
Yeah, I'm interested in that point that Lindsay makes about it used to be a real kind of fortress for Livingston in the top flight. They were really hard to beat. Lindsay talks about how they used to be a lot more physical. Their style of play changed since they went into the Championship. Then on top of that, they got a new artificial surface put down, which is a lot easier to play on than the old artificial surface. You wonder if there is something in that is maybe making it not as daunting a place to go for teams.
Well, in the short-lived Russell Martin era, they went to Livy, and the Rangers were very fortunate to get away with a 94th minute goal there to take all 3 points. But that was possibly the last day that Livy looked convincing. They've fallen apart since then, and Hibs really ought to be far too good for them today. The warning signs are there for David Martindale and our own Marvin Bartley. I don't know how they address it, because they don't appear to have strength and depth.
It's a real pacey lineup that Hibs have gone for, and that front 2 of Martin Boyle and Thibaut Clige that they'll be hoping can cause Livingston problems.
Yeah, I think so. I think they'll try and get back to that little bit of form that they had before the Rangers came to town during the week. I think they'll be a wee bit frustrated with the way that game went. I don't see them getting all their own way, though. I know Livingston, I just think at home, Livingston sometimes, I know they're struggling to find form. Today's maybe the day that they might pick something up, just with Hibs coming off the back of failing to score at the weekend, at midweek rather. There's a feeling I think Livingston can get something out of that game.
Yeah, Falkirk against Kilmarnock is at the Falkirk Stadium. Roger Hanna is going to be watching that one. It was a good start to the season for Kilmarnock, a lot of positivity around Stuart Kettlewell. They had so many changes to make in terms of players going out and players coming in. Seems to have stagnated a little bit of late, Roger.
Yeah, I spoke to him yesterday down at Rugby Park in his preview press conference, Andrew. I think he's worried about the injury toll. It's about 7 or 8 first team players missing now, and I actually look at it 2 sides. I'm going to build myself up for a fall here, Andrew, because the defensive injuries that both teams have got would lead you to believe they're better going forward than they are at the back. John McGlynn in recent weeks has added Lewis Nielsen, Leon McCann to the long-term defensive injuries of Cole Donaldson and Tom Lang. He's sort of patched things up. It really didn't patch them up to much effect at Celtic Park on Wednesday night. And Kelly now, for me, Lewis Mayo has been the rock at the heart of that Kelly defence for some time now. he's missing. Jamie Brandon, who was Livingston captain last season, they made a big play to get him in the summer. He's out injured again. And Max Stryek in goal is a loss. They brought him back to the Scottish Premiership. He's now out for 4 months after that anomaly came up and just a kind of routine health check. We wish him well. But now, it's on loan Toby Oluwayemi at the back. They've gone to a back 4 today. And he's maybe, he's committing more numbers forward. He's called in Bruce Anderson, Scott Tiffany and Rory McKenzie to try and support big Marcus Dackers up top. So they'll go for it. Falkirk always go for it here. So I think it could be, I think we could see goals.
Go along with that. Could see goals in that game.
Yeah, I think it'll be an entertaining game. Falkirk will just play the way they normally play. Kilmarnock did create chances against Aberdeen but couldn't take them. I think it's a big game for Kilmarnock, I really do. You're looking at a Falkirk team that's got that incentive to get 3 points, 15 points November the 1st. They'd be delighted with that return. Puts them up into 5th place. So I think that's a massive game, and I do agree with Roger. I think there'll be goals and good entertainment there.
It does make it even more impressive, Falkirk's start to the season, that a good few of the guys were there in League One, were a big part of their League One winning team, then into the Championship as well. It's not as if John McGlynn has made wholesale changes. Of course, he's added experience in there, Scott Arfield, Brian Graham, but a lot of players that he just knows and he trusts.
Yeah, and there's a style about Falkirk as well, and that probably comes with consistency and the similar squad coming up to, as I say, there's not wholesale changes, as you quite rightly say there, but I think they will be feeling good about themselves where they're sitting in the league. I know they've taken a heavy defeat at Celtic on Wednesday, but I think they'll brush that off. These guys have tipped goals today. It'll probably be 0-0, no doubt. But it's a tight one as well. It's another, as I think Daz touched on earlier on, it's most of the games today are very tight. They could go either way. I probably just shade Falkirk with them being at home.
Yeah, I'm going for Falkirk. As Simon rightly says, they're taking a beating at Celtic Park, but the circumstances there were all against them on the night. The return of Martin O'Neill, the crowd, the enthusiasm. This is where their bread and butter is kept, and they'll look after that today, because sadly for Kilmarnock, the goalkeeping situation has been an early season disaster for Stuart Kettlewell. They've got a loanee from Celtic. He wasn't at fault because they lost to Aberdeen midweek. He's a good goalkeeper, but he's young, he's inexperienced, and 3 losses on the spin for Kilmarnock. I just think number 4 is on the cards.
A lot of eyes will be on Hearts against Dundee today, Fraser Wishart. And I think if you'd maybe said to Celtic fans or Rangers fans that there would be a cup semi-final, they'd be playing each other on the Sunday, they wouldn't really have cared in the past who Hearts are playing or how Hearts are doing on the Saturday. But it's a different picture now.
Yeah, they'll be watching. I was just thinking about it today, looking at this is the 11th game of the season, so that's the end of the first round of fixtures for Hearts, and they've only had 2 draws in that time and 8 wins, which is remarkable. And one of the draws was here against Motherwell. I was at the game. They were outplayed for 60-65 minutes, were 3-0 down, but they showed a lot of character to come back to 3-3 and actually could have won the game. And I thought at the time, there's something a wee bit different about the Hearts team. They just have that bit of excitement. There's players that can go and create things. Of course, just over 12 months ago, Stephen Naismith was sacked for 8 successive defeats at the start of the season. So football can change very, very quickly. I think Derek McInnes will be aware of that. I think his biggest problem is just keeping players away from the hype. They want to keep the confidence going, keep the momentum going. We can all talk about there being a title race. Hugh can say that Hearts are champions elect, but within the dressing room, we just got to keep it going hard as it is, game by game, because at some point they'll face adversity. They'll lose a game, Celtic will close the gap, and then all of a sudden things change. So football can change very quickly, but while it's good, just keep the momentum going, and I'm looking at their squad as well. Like the players are not even in the squad today. Wilson, Khartoum, Neuvenhoff, Kent, Aguiu, the Brazilian, the highest transfer fee ever, who's injured as well. There's Vargas and Tate out on loan. They have 31 players at the moment. I know they want to get some out, but at the moment they have a squad they can do, and I think that's why he's rotated today after the same team for 6 games in a row, trying to get these players a bit more time. It's maybe not as much giving Braga a rest as much as getting Landry Kabore some time, because at some point they will need him this season. But everything's good. All Derek needs to do is keep the momentum going, but at some point they will face a bit of adversity. They'll face a poor result, and they'll have to cope with that. I don't think that'll be here today. I saw Dundee last week, weren't great in the second half. They were okay in the first half. We were unlucky. It was a Stonewall penalty that wasn't given, as we've seen since, when they were 1-up. But I don't think Dundee have got enough to keep Hearts out, so I'm going to go for a comfortable 2-goal victory for Hearts.
If Hearts get that win today, they'll go 9 points clear. Yes, Celtic would have a game in hand, but just psychologically, it's big, isn't it? Having those points on the board, putting the extra pressure on.
That's why there are no excuses for Derek McInnes and the players today. They have the incentive, 9 ahead of Celtic, 14 ahead of Rangers, because Rangers will gradually improve under Danny Rule, and that gap is an important one. So no excuses. The crowd are with them. The crowd at Paisley in support of Hearts were sensational. Tynecastle is a bear pit, and Dundee ought not to have any chance of getting anything today. Over to the Hearts players to prove that.
Because that will be an added pressure that a lot of these Hearts players won't have dealt with before. Yes, at home to Dundee, Hearts are expected to win 9 times out of 10. However, when there's the extra caveat of, oh no, you're not only expected to win it because you're meant to be a better side, you're expected to win it now because people are saying you're in a title race. Some people are saying you're title favourites at this point.
Yes, I agree with that, and it'll be interesting to see how they handle it. I think they've got a big couple of games coming up. They played Dundee today, obviously at home, and they've got Dundee United next week at home. So if you're going to be up there, if you're going to be challenging, you've got to keep winning these games, especially at home games. But at one point of the season, I wouldn't probably say now, I think it's a bit early, but if they're still in there January, February, getting into March, then all of a sudden those must-win games puts a lot of pressure on you.
League Cup semi-final weekend, but Premiership action to come before that. Kick-off in those games is next.
The winning team all season long. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Just about to get underway across the grounds in the Scottish Premiership and down the divisions for league action. It is, of course, League Cup semi-final weekend. We will preview those 2 matches a bit further in the show, but all focus towards these games that are just kicking off now.
Clyde One Super Scoreboard Goal Flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy. Get set for the season with expert pharmacy support.
That means only one thing. I need to get some terrible predictions from you three, starting with Hugh Keevins.
Hearts to beat Dundee, Hibs to win away at Livy, and Falkirk to win at home against Kilmarnock.
Okay, Simon?
I'm going Hearts to beat Dundee. I'm going for a draw with Livingston and Hibs, and I'm taking Falkirk to beat Kilmarnock.
Is that the same as you?
No, he's going Hibs.
I said Hibs win.
Okay, I'm going Hearts, Hibs, Kilmarnock.
Hearts, Hibs and Kilmarnock. And I tell you what, there's already been one of these in the Scottish Premiership.
Goal Flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Livingston 0, Hibs 1. Jamie McGrath, he couldn't do it from 12 yards out against Rangers midweek, but he's managed a stunning left-footed strike just 36 minutes into the game at the home of the Set Fair Arena.
36 minutes into the game.
Sorry, 36 seconds into the game. Did I say minutes?
I was going to say,
I'm getting ahead of myself there. 36 seconds into the game, Jamie McGrath has given Hibs the lead already. What a start
Simon,
that is.
I wish I'd turned round there and seen the screen behind me.
Do you wish to reconsider your draw?
No, I think Livy will come back.
No, can't do that.
89 minutes.
Right.
Oof. Tell you what a start that is for Hibs.
Yeah, but 22 yards out. I think he'll probably have the bit between his teeth, wouldn't he? After what happened at the end of that game at Easter Road.
Fair play to him. When you're live on television, you missed the penalty that cost you your side a point. Sleep would have been difficult for him on Wednesday night, but fair play to him.
Come on.
You feel a lot better now.
Come on, Hugh. He can score for 22, but he can't score for 12. Unprofessional, would you say?
Okay,
you'd have him off.
I'd have fined him 2 weeks' wages.
At Hearts, Fraser Wishart just telling us that it is going to be Spittle on the left and Kizaridis on the right. We're very used to seeing Kizaridis playing his football on the left. We saw exactly what he could do against Celtic last weekend. I think Kobe Donovan would maybe still be having some nightmares around the parts of that game, but interesting to see what he could maybe do on the other side.
Look,
today
he's just I wouldn't be surprised if he has another brilliant game. He's just a talented player. It's written all over him. He showed that since the day he walked into Tynecastle. He's a big player for Hearts, and I think that it doesn't matter where you play him, he's just good at what he does.
I don't know how you feel, Simon, but I thought the last game of the Brendan Rodgers era, he got his team all wrong. Dane Murray, Colby Donovan, they were taken apart.
Yeah, but as I say, Kizzaridis has been one of Hearts' top performers. The young kids came in and had a difficult afternoon, as did Dane Murray. Trusty came in during the week and did well. Listen, I think somebody said last week it was his 9th game for Celtic, the boy, and I did feel for him. You know, he gives the own goal away. Celtic get themselves back into the game, I thought, and looked decent going towards half time, and then another crazy 10 minutes at the start of the second half. The game ran away from them, but yeah, both young lads had a difficult afternoon. Yeah,
that does mean Kizzaridis on the right, Spittle on the left. It means Harry Milne is playing at left back today after playing that sort of right side of midfield this season, but back to his more natural position, although it's not looked unnatural at all for him this season.
It was a strange decision, wanted to play him there. I think everybody sort of looked at that and thought, what's going on? But like Derek McInnes works with these players day in, day out. He knows where they can play. I like that about squads. I like the fact that players can fit in and play different positions for you, because you're going to need it over the course and distance of a long hard season.
Right, well, normally we try and do this before there's been a goal, but we get such an early goal that we're having to do it after, Hugh.
The first half teaser
with the scottishsun.co.uk/football for the best football news and opinion online.
In honour of our Premier Sports Cup semi-final combatants, Motherwell and St Mirren, 5 men have made appearances for both Motherwell and St Mirren, but they are currently playing with a club in the Championship. Can you name them? 5 men have made appearances for both Motherwell and St Mirren, but they are currently playing in the Championship. Can you tell me who they are?
Yes, the Scottish Championship, of course, that is. You need to get your answers at Clyde SSB. You can read the question there again too. Remember, it's a race, it is a podium, so the fastest will finish top, and we'll announce who finishes second and third as well. I can see Simon and Gordon deliberating over there. How are you feeling about that one?
I've got 4 already.
Oh, just stored away in your brain, do you?
Yeah. That's quite an easy question.
You know what? It would have been an easy question for him because before in the office, I went to the toilet. Gordon Dalziel admitted that he was rifling through the papers that I had lying there to see if he could find the answer, but they hadn't been given to me yet, which was good.
I was desperate for him to find them because I had my phone at the ready.
It's called being an honest cheat. That's all I can say. Honesty was oozing out.
It'd be brilliant in Traitors. I think he's in the next.
You've made the right decision. It's getting darker and darker out there. It's getting windier and windier. The rain is coming down.
Oh, no.
You've made the right decision and left young Gordon to go to Hampden.
There was absolutely no chance I was going there tonight. It's too late for me anyway, Hugh. And the worst thing is getting out of Hampden. Well, I'll not be too bad because I don't think. What's the crowd? It'll be about 20,000 this afternoon. You know, listen, I sighed a massive relief in this programme today for a long, long time when I heard Roger Hanna's voice. I was a bit concerned about last night with him. Obviously, his face getting painted orange and left about doors. But delighted to say that he's made it to the game today.
Well, he is telling us as well as a VAR check because Falkirk have the ball in the net. The flag has gone up though, so it will be a check to see whether that could be overturned and Falkirk could have an early goal. It was Williams round the keeper and scored. Roger says he did look off. It was a pass from Calvin Miller, so we'll keep you updated on whether that goal is going to stand or not. Could be a good start for Falkirk.
They'll be really hoping. How's it?
Goal flashes.
Oh dear.
With M&D Green Pharmacy.
And the goal stands. VAR have overturned it. It was onside, and what a start to the Premiership action so far today. It's Falkirk 1, Kilmarnock 0.
Who scored?
Williams.
Right. Yeah. There was a stat going about 2 weeks ago. Gordon came out with the goals in the Premier League within the first 10 minutes were about 1.
I think there had been. You're right.
All of a sudden we've got 2 today, so brilliant.
And the one ground where you expected an early goal to come, Tynecastle, still 0-0. Stuart Kettlewell had, he's had his moments with VAR this season. You remember the penalty that never was for Celtic at Rugby Park, and Ian Acho scored to get Celtic the win. So it's been a dodgy old time for VAR. So that's a quick call. They haven't taken too long to confirm that the goal was legitimate.
Yeah, it is a first goal for Ethan Williams since moving on loan from Manchester United. There is a goal for Arbroath, 1-0 up against Ross County. Harry Cochrane with the goal in that game.
They're doing okay, Arbroath, aren't they? You know,
yeah, decent start to the season.
Especially at home, eh?
Yeah, but thrashing, not beating St Johnstone, thrashing St Johnstone.
Is that young Harry Cochrane that used to be at Hearts?
Yes.
Yeah, he was a real. People spoke about him as the coming
incredible,
thing.
Wasn't it? And
he was playing at 16, wasn't he? And was a big prospect. Has now been playing down the divisions. Was at Queen of the South for a bit. Is now at Arbroath, scoring today to put them 1-0 up against Ross County. For Hibs, a great surging run from Martin Boyle. Got away from Pittman and Silla. Right foot shot saved though, so Martin Boyle trying to cause some early problems.
Well, he's got the bit between his teeth. He's back in the side from the start, probably thinking, I should have played from the start Wednesday night, why didn't I? So he's doing his bit to impress David Gray.
Cove Rangers 0, Peterhead 1. Jason Brown on the score sheet for the visitors in that game. I just wanted to pick Simon Donnelly up on something you said earlier on. You said that Gordon Dalziel would be great in the Traitors, right?
Yeah. No, think so.
Imagine you were a faithful. You'd have absolutely no chance of being able to do that properly.
Mate, I've never been a faithful man.
Exactly. So there would be no chance.
Hey,
absolutely no chance.
You're looking at a guy with 3 divorces in his locker and you're saying, imagine you were faithful. That just doesn't go hand in hand. And if any of my wives are listening, I can well apologise.
A big traitor. I was watching him earlier on, stealth and try to get the answers out of your.
See, now that you say that, I'm not even 100%
Did you deliberately
convinced.
Leave it there just to test
No, but I'm not even 100% convinced that he didn't get the answers. He still might have got the answers somehow, and he could just be lying to me. You never know.
What, today?
Yeah.
I was only kidding on. I've not got 4. I've not even got 1.
I know. You could be playing a game. You don't know.
No, see, that's how I'm getting the
so there we go.
You know what I mean? That's why Jonathan Ross got voted out, and he could have Oh no, hold on.
He can't.
Come on, spoilers.
That's terrible.
I can only apologise.
First of all, apologies to anyone else out there listening who hasn't caught up with it. And also, I told you in the office earlier on that I'm 2 episodes behind.
I can only apologise.
You've done that on purpose.
I wait to the second half.
Done that on purpose.
Wait to the second half. I'm giving you the other nights as well.
That's a disaster. That is an absolute disaster.
Terrible.
I've never seen it.
Have you not?
You watch it, Hugh?
It's not my type of thing.
Yeah, you've got into it if you watched it.
Nah.
You had the cloak on last night, didn't you? You could have. You looked the part, but you're not having it.
I went up to see 2 of my grandchildren. Well, in fact, 4 of them were there after the programme last night, and they were well impressed. I mean, they probably think here's the old guy again, but they were well impressed.
Did you take it home with you?
No.
I thought you were meaning you wore it home.
Gordon Duncan and Jay, the producer, they sent photographs to both of my daughters for the grandchildren to have a laugh, and they had more respect for me last night dressed as the Grim Reaper than they've ever had.
Who was Gordon dressed up as?
I couldn't work out his uniform. I don't know what he was supposed to be.
I just seen a photo this morning, and I'm thinking, I don't know who that is.
Look, Coco the Clown. I don't know what he's supposed to be.
Be Harry Potter.
I'm told that apparently he was just meant to be a scary clown, anonymous.
Right.
It strikes me as something that was stuffed in a cupboard somewhere in Clyde 1 HQ that had to quickly be put on Gordon Duncan before the show started, and was probably reluctantly put on by Gordon Duncan.
Do you know what I did see in the studio?
Mark Wilson.
He had your mask on for maybe a year or 2 back. Me and you did Halloween. Did we? The green thing, Frankenstein or something it was.
Scott Allen
still doing the rounds in here.
In the part, he came in dressed as Harry Potter.
Did someone tell him to do that, or did he just happen to be dressed up because it was Halloween?
No, I think it was suggested to him that because of the glasses that he might like to be Harry Potter. So he came in dressed as Harry Potter, and as the evening wore on, he looked more and more Daniel Radcliffe. It was incredible.
He would struggle. You have to tell a joke. I don't know how you get dressed up.
A goal for Alloa against Kelty Hearts. Luke Rankin has put the home side ahead in that match, and the Seagulls are at it against you. Brighton 1-0 up. Danny Welbeck again.
Oh no, if it wasn't for Danny Welbeck, I don't know where they'd be.
He's been brilliant for him, hasn't he?
Oh.
I'm looking forward to today's football and tomorrow, especially Championship as well. I think there's some good games in there. Funny enough, I was talking to Mark today.
Glasgow Derby.
Phone. Yeah, obviously disappointed against the mighty Wraith Rovers last week, but he'll be looking forward to get back on track with another 3 points. Jim Duffy, Super Scoreboard. Well, Mark, but you still count Mark's Super Scoreboard? I would just banish
I think he's sort of honorary Super Scoreboard for life, Mark Wilson, isn't he? No matter whether he's in employment elsewhere or not.
I would banish him from the Clyde Super Scoreboard team. What do you think?
This is 2 weeks before his wedding. Is this any way to talk about a man? You're going to his wedding and you're...
Yeah, but it's Gordon Dalziel and weddings we're talking about here.
Yeah.
These happen every couple of months for Gordon. It's not a big thing for him.
Yeah, I love a wee wedding. I've got to say, I love the full day. I love being the guy that's the attention.
Yeah, it's just not your own.
I like Mon. I like being the centre of attention. It's the next day, the Sunday, it just messes it up for me, mate.
when you wake up and realise that you're married.
Yeah. Oh, honestly, you see the wedding rings I've got. If anybody out there's getting married, then I'm prepared to sell them a ring.
A half chance for Livingston. It was a slack pass back by Grant Hanley. Almost let Stevie May in, but he was out muscled by Rocky Bushiri. Grant Hanley's been a good signing for Hibs, hasn't he, overall?
It's good experience. He's a good player, still doing it for Scotland. I thought that was a good bit of business. I really did. He'll bring a lot of experience here, leadership as well. He's a calm head, still got a bit of pace about him, so good defender.
He had a terrific header against Rangers, a good save from Jack Butland, and I'm slightly surprised that you don't see more Grant Hanley goals off set pieces, corners, free kicks, what have you. But here we are now, 15 minutes in, still no word from Tynecastle.
Yeah, been pretty quiet so far between Hearts and Dundee. Just wondering how that game is playing out so far. I don't think there's much has happened in the way of chances, which will maybe be a bit disappointing for Derek McInnes, but he won't be getting too frustrated just with the way that Hearts have been playing this season.
Well, Dundee could go there, stonewall it, get a point. That's the way their season will need to go. They'll need to bite and scratch for everything they get, and they've beaten Celtic, they've drawn with Rangers. They'll see Hearts as an attainable target for at least 1 point.
Just given the negativity that was surrounding Stephen Presley when he got the job in the summer, I'm not sure anyone would have seen Stephen Presley outlasting the Celtic and Rangers managers at the start of the season.
It's incredible. This is the season where unprecedented things are going to happen, that you can't rule out anything for the remainder of this season. Will St Mirren or Motherwell win the first cup? Will Hearts win the league? So it just goes from one astonishing story to another.
I think the likes of Motherwell and St Mirren, we talked about it earlier on about this being their cup final, but it absolutely isn't, because whoever gets to that final will think they've got a chance. Celtic and Rangers have not hit the heights that we've been used to, and certainly not Celtic this year. So they fancy their chances if they got to the final, both of them. I thought Motherwell acquitted themselves brilliantly at Celtic Park recently.
I'll tell you what, they were magnificent against Dundee United midweek. Dominated. I think they had over 70% of possession, and they obviously got a comfortable one, so they'll get in with full confidence, but never write off St Mirren.
We were just speaking about Mark Wilson, weren't we? Partick Thistle 1, Queen's Park 0. Paddy Redding with the opening goal in that game. Livingston have had the ball in the net against Hibs, but the whistle has gone for a foul on Grant Hanley. It was Stevie May. Salinger came for a cross, he flapped at it. Stevie May put the ball in the net, but I think is adjudged to have fouled Grant Hanley, so it doesn't look as if that one's going to stand.
Big blow for Davy Martindale, but the fight continues. So everything is where it should be, in the balance at this stage of the day. Good for Falkirk to be ahead. Hibs the quickest goal of the season, probably 36 seconds. And stalemate at Tynecastle, so nicely in the balance.
Yeah, not too many goals going in down the divisions either. That is a good early goal for Partick Thistle, though, and for Mark to get one over on Queen's Park and Jim Duffy.
Well, the Queen's Park are awkward opponents. You're coming off the back of a defeat at the Wraith Rovers, so that will just settle everyone down, and if Thistle were to go two in front, you couldn't see a way back for Queen's Park then.
Yeah, they've done brilliantly recently. Obviously, the slip up last week at Kirkcaldy would have disappointed Mark, but their form has been really good to get themselves right up there. At one point we thought St Johnstone might run away with this league, but Partick have set themselves up again today, and I'm sure Mark will not be wanting to come anywhere near this studio at the moment. I think he'll be pushing that Partick team as far as he can.
Yeah, give him another month or two. he'll be using his fob constantly.
Stranraer are 1-0 up against Forfar. It's a James Dolan penalty 9 minutes into that game in League 2, so they have the lead. And should we check in on this teaser, Hugh?
Why not?
I forgot about that.
In honour of tonight's semi-final between Motherwell and St Mirren, 5 men have made appearances for both Motherwell and St Mirren, but they are currently playing with a club in our championship. Who are they?
Tell you what, I'm not seeing too many wrong answers on Twitter so far. Kadzi has said Barry Mackay.
No, not there.
Didn't play for Motherwell or St Mirren.
He's not playing. A club.
Yeah.
That's
so
incredible,
wrong
isn't
in
it?
pretty much every single aspect. That answer, it's quite impressive, almost.
Yeah, he's 100% wrong.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Oh, it will be frustrating. Livingston have had another one disallowed. They've had the ball on the back of the net again. Pittman, but there was a clear foul in the build-up, so I don't think that one was ever going to stand really. But they've had the ball on the back of the net twice in the space of a minute or two, so they are getting closer.
It's not a story that Marvin Bartley will tell when he's on next week. He will not say that shouldn't have stood. I think Marv will give full vent to his feelings next week.
It's a big day for him, isn't it?
Maybe a side note, they've had the ball in the net twice.
Yeah,
so
but look, they've been in a lot of games, and then near the end they seem to concentration, bad mistake, a slip up. It just cost them the 3 points. And I was a bit concerned on Tuesday because it's the first time I'd seen Big Marv without his Livy tracksuit on. So I thought there was more news coming. Never mind Brendan Rodgers.
Alloa 2, Kelty Hearts 0. A good start for Alloa. Callum Adamson getting their second of the match. And it has been, as you say, pretty quiet at Tynecastle so far. Fraser saying no real chances. Hearts haven't really got a hold of the ball. Neither keeper has had anything to do. And we are just over 20 minutes into that game.
If you're Derek McInnes, you'd kick yourself black and blue if you didn't get all 3 points today.
Yeah, I mean, it's still early, 20 minutes in, but again, it's one of those ones where they now are up against maybe opposition that will, make it difficult for them. With them being at the top, the onus is on them to go and take the game to Dundee, but after 20 minutes, I don't think Derek McInnes will be too concerned.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Falkirk 2, Kilmarnock 0. Ross McKeever with a tap-in. And what a start to the game that is for John McGlynn's men. The initial shot was pushed out by the goalkeeper Oluwayemi, and it is an easy finish for Ross McKeever, and it is a well-deserved 2-goal lead for Falkirk.
What a start. Yeah, what a start, Hugh.
Worrying times for Kilmarnock. This could be 4 defeats on the bounce. They've lost their number one man in goal, and they've lost them for some considerable time. And this is not looking good.
I thought they were really, really disappointing against Rangers at Ibrox. I really did. I thought the composure of some of the players, I couldn't believe they were panicking every time they got the ball. I watched the highlights and Wednesday night against Aberdeen. Good goal, bit fortunate. I think the pitch plays a part in it. Great run from Armstrong, bad defending from Kilmarnock. Second half they seemed a lot better, put a lot of pressure, couldn't get a goal, but that's the worst possible start today.
Kilmarnock were third just a couple of weeks ago. Is that right? They were right up there anyway. This would put them down to 10th as it stands. I mean, it first of all shows how close the league is, but second of all shows what 4 defeats in a row would do if it is going to be that.
Well, first of all, we can't do anything about the goalkeeping position until the January transfer window. The loss of Max Stryjek has been considerable for them, and clearly, apart from the goalkeeper, there are defensive issues. You don't get to lose 4 games on the bounce in the Premiership without there being a problem at the back.
Falkirk, however, a bit of character there. Last time I was in this studio, they came back from Motherwell, the disappointment of Wednesday, but they've bounced right back, and fantastic start today.
Yeah, would be them up to 5th as it stands. A few teams behind them would have a game in hand, but good having the points on the board.
100%. If you says to John Maclean, look, November 1st, you're up to 5th all day long. Brilliant. I said beginning of the season I tipped them to be right down there. I thought because they didn't add a lot of players to the squad, got to be a long season, kept most of the players all the way through the promotions. But all credit to them, they're playing good stuff and they're starting to get good results.
And then you wonder what it is about Falkirk, whether it is just the continuity of the players that know how to play under John McGlynn and he knows how to utilise them. Is it the fact that their recruitment was really good in League One and the Championship, that they've not had to make those massive changes? Is it a combination of the two potentially?
Yeah, possibly. I would lean towards the continuity as well, though. A team that have come up used to winning, you're coming into a different level of opposition, but that winning mentality and that winning feeling lends itself to the performances that they're putting in just now. As I say, a bit of character as well. You know, it's not all been plain sailing. They came back at Motherwell, they bounced back after Wednesday night, and they're in a fantastic position at the moment at this early juncture in the season.
It's all happening between Livingston and Hibs. Livingston have had the ball on the net twice. Neither of them have counted. Hibs have had the ball on the net once after 36 seconds. That's counted. And now they've just had the ball in the net again, Hibs, but this one is not going to count. Disallowed. Rocky Bashiri clearly offside as he followed in a Grant Hanley header. It was a initial delivery by Jamie McGrath. So it is still 1-0 to Hibs, where it could technically have been 2-2 the way things were going.
Still in the balance. And still we wait for a goal at Tynecastle. With regard to Falkirk, they're in the bottom 6 at kick-off time today. The bottom 6 being separated by 6 points. So they're making the most of the games that they should get something out of. John McGlynn will know that he'll not be judged on games against Celtic and Rangers, although he's already had a draw with Rangers, the final day of Russell Martin's time there. But get your business done against the ones that you should get points from.
St Johnstone 1, Airdrieonians 0. Adama Sidibe with the goal there. Airdrieonians still without a manager after Danny Lennon left.
Yeah,
who's actually taking them? I don't know.
I think Aaron Taylor-Sinclair is taking interim charge at the moment.
Yeah, they're in a bad way, aren't they? They're losing ground. Yeah, really struggling.
I mean, there were a lot of question marks over the appointment of Danny Lennon anyway. I don't think a lot of Airdrieonians fans wanted him in the first place. Rhys McCabe had a real successful time of it in charge of Airdrie. It'll be interesting to see where they go next. I think the squad was quite suited to the way that Rhys McCabe liked playing football, and then just interesting to see where Rhys McCabe goes next.
Funny if they used an ageist argument against Danny Lennon, you know, and then find out that Celtic have got a 73-year-old manager.
How old would Danny be? I played with Danny. He's 59?
56.
3.
Fans want young coaches now, don't they? And Danny might have looked old school.
No, I think fans need the older generation coming back, because I'll tell you why. The older generation football's coming back. Long throw-ins, 2 up top, getting the ball up early. I'll tell you, it'll not be long until you see the goalkeepers getting it, bouncing it 6 times and wafting it right up the pitch.
I thought you were about to say it's not going to be long until you see you back in the dugout employing those tactics.
When there's a lot of people tuning in on a Saturday for a bit of entertainment, I wouldn't let them down. But you look at Martin O'Neill, who's come out. Listen, I think sometimes we complicate football a little bit. It's all about entertainment, all about scoring goals. Every Celtic fan's talking about the style of play the other night there. Brendan Rodgers, rightly so. Look at the career he's had, the trophies he's won. People were switched off with it. I needed a change, needed a freshness. It got it, and I hope it continues, especially with Rangers and Celtic, into tomorrow's semi-final.
Tell you what, I can barely see anything out of this small window we've got on the studio, but David Friel has just sent me a photo from Hampden. Looks glorious. Sun is out, blue sky, good setting, good day for the fans making their way there.
Does he not understand the game's at 5:45? What's he doing opening up?
He's professional. He's getting there on time.
On time?
Yeah.
Wait, it's just turned Saturday. It's 5:45. What do you do? There must be a lunch. There must be a free lunch.
The team's come out in half an hour. That's what he's doing. He's getting himself there and prepared so he can give us that team news in half an hour's time.
No, not at all, is it? I know in 45 minutes the team's come out.
It's a 5:30 kick-off, not a 5:45.
Oh,
so
right, the clocks
5:30.
went back, that's right. I thought it was 5:45. I've got to. My apologies, David. Brilliant. Get yourself there nice and early.
He says there's also curry on offer downstairs in the press room. Now we know why he's there early. Now we get it. Clyde, Roger Hanna said he's got a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. No wonder he's been at Hampden since breakfast time. There's a goal for Clyde against Dumbarton. It's an own goal. Mark Durman putting the ball into his own net. So it is 1-0 to Clyde in that game. Still nothing really to offer from Hearts against Dundee. Falkirk with a good 2-0 lead over Kilmarnock, and Hibs with a 1-0 lead away to Livingston. There has been an opening at Tynecastle. Cameron Congreve, who's been really impressive for Dundee with the first real effort of the game. A right foot shot, took a slight deflection. It hit the corner of the post and bar and went wide. The keeper was well beaten though.
You called it, didn't you?
Did
you still go for Hearts? But you
once again I bottled
You
it.
seem to do this every time I'm in. You come up with some big theory that there's going to be a shock, and then when it actually gets down to the crunch of the predictions, you just go for the safe bet.
I do, and I'm not proud of myself, but I've got to say, but you look at Hearts, everybody's going 10 minutes in, no goal at Tynecastle. Is Hearts the kind of team this season that's come out and just blown teams away early? I don't think they have they?
They've had to come back a couple of times.
And score Motherwell 3-0 and stuff like that. So look, it's plenty of football left at Tynecastle.
Not having had any opportunity to see any of the game at Tynecastle, I take it that after half an hour 0-0, I take it Hearts are not playing well.
Yeah, it would seem that way, or certainly they've yet to really get going in that game against Dundee. Still plenty of time left on the clock for either side to go and get that win, but it is 0-0 between Hearts and Dundee. You wonder, just with the way Hearts have started the season, the position they're in, whether teams will just approach the game differently against them now.
I think they will, particularly at Tynecastle. I think they'll try and make it difficult for them, and they might come up against teams preparing differently than they would have done if they weren't on this run, if they weren't at the top of the league. But again, that's what Hearts are going to have to deal with. And with Daz, Hearts haven't really blew anybody away. I know they got a quick go against Celtic, ironically, last week, but they've had to come back in games. They had to come back and get a point. I think it was Motherwell. So they have shown a bit of character.
I'll stop you there, Simon.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Hearts 1, Dundee 0. Lawrence Shankland with the goal. He's on fire this season, and it is a lead for the league leaders, and as it stands, they will go 9 points clear. It is a nice left-footed strike about 20 yards out and off the inside of the post. I think it was unsavable, and the Hearts fans have something to cheer about.
Yeah, I mean, Shankland scored midweek in Paisley. He wears that captain's armband with obvious pride. He's the darling of the crowd, and Hearts now have to build on that, because every one of those Hearts fans wants to leave and go up to the Tynecastle Arms saying we're 9 points ahead of Celtic, 14 ahead of Rangers. Fans of clubs like Hearts, that's food and drink to them.
You've always got a chance if you've got a guy that can score goals for you.
Yeah.
And Shankland's prolific goal scorer. I know he had a really poor season last year, but I never bought into this. He's a number 10. I never bought into that. He's a goal scorer. That's what he is. Out and out goal scorer. Keep him there, feed him the ball. He's got quality round about him, and he's scoring goals. He's confident in hitting the target. He shoots for anywhere. He can, outside the box, inside the box. It doesn't matter to him. Shankland is a brilliant, not a brilliant signing as because he was there, but there was obviously talk that he could have left. Derek McInnes is certainly getting the best out of him.
Neil Critchley tried to make him the number 10, thereby proving that Neil Critchley wasn't very good at his job, and that's why he got the sack.
I think that's Lawrence Shankland's 15th game in all competitions this season, and that's him now surpassed his goal tally from the whole of last season, which is quite incredible. 43 games last season, 9 goals He's got 10 and 15 so far this campaign, or 10 and 14 and a bit games, because he's still got about an hour to go to try and add to his tally.
Double figures.
It's good going.
He's double
It's good
figures
going.
written all over him, 20 plus.
Listen, I don't like to
20 plus.
blow your trumpet, because you like to blow it yourself.
Listen, you're more than welcome. I'm tired today. You can just
season,
go on with it.
This guy on numerous occasions was talking about the position that he played in the team. So full credit to McInnes. You know, he knows what he's had. Shanklin, I think it was Aberdeen before, so he knows what he can get out of him. And when you've got somebody at that end of the pitch with an eye for goal, that's the
difference, I think, just now, right? You're looking at the Scotland squad. Bowie's been in it, Shanklin's not, right? I like Bowie, I think he's a decent player, but Shanklin's now playing in those areas where he can affect games, scoring goals, right? He's always a threat. The minute he picks the ball up, he's got an opportunity. Bowie's doing the complete opposite. He's playing in wide areas, he's not affecting them. Defenders are quite happy to let him go and play there, i.e. why he's not scoring goals.
Fraser Wishart says the Hearts fans have been really good today, because even though the early stages, the opening half hour was quite frustrating, they were just getting behind the team, you know, which you would expect to happen because Hearts been good this season. The fans are going to be on a high, but you would then also forgive them for maybe getting a bit tetchy because things have been going so well that they're maybe not used to seeing the team struggle to create chances. And the most important thing is that they just continue to give that backing so that they can then end up getting goals like that.
There's a club that have lived with 40 years of hurt. They went into the last game of the season in 1986 believing the title was going to be won.
Was that at Dundee?
At Dundee, yeah. Ironically, the team they're playing today. 7 minutes to go. They are 0-0. Celtic are 5-0 at Paisley, but the draw would get them the title. And then 7 minutes later, they're 2 down. Title's gone. Davy Hayes won the title for Celtic. Those fans, everyone associated with that club, the older players, the older hands like John Robertson, Gary Mackay, guys that the Dazzler and I have known for years, they've lived with that hurt for 40 years, and they would just love to think.
Was it Alec and Sandy that was?
Alec and Sandy, yeah. I'll never forget, Sandy Jardine was Player of the Year the following day. He's just lost the league title, and his speech at the awards dinner, Player of the Year, was the most dignified thing I have ever heard. The memory of it stays with me 40 years later. A great man, him and wee Doddy as he was known.
Oh, Doddy was brilliant. What a player. Never capped for Scotland, Doddy, was he? Or did they have like Mark in that half a cap?
But there you have Heart of Midlothian, 40 years of hurt. Ironically, they're playing Dundee, the club who cost them the title, and that's why the Hearts fans, young and old, because the young are brought up on stories of what happened that day. That's why the Hearts fans are so desperate for this title to be won, to erase the 40 years of hurt.
Well, it is still 1-0 to Hearts over Dundee at Tynecastle. Falkirk have that 2-0 lead over Kilmarnock, and Hibs have a 1-0 lead away to Livingston in a game that has been pretty end to end, because I think a few minutes ago Lewis Smith had a cross that broke for Stevie May, just couldn't get enough power in the shot, and it was saved by Raphael Salinger. So you'd think there's probably more goals to come in that game, as long as people stop fouling people in the build up to goals and going offside.
I think there are more goals to come in all three matches.
Yeah, agree with that, Hugh.
Kilmarnock are clearly struggling. I wouldn't be surprised if Falkirk extended their lead. Livy have had the ball in net twice, but neither has counted, so they're a goal behind to Hibs, but I think there are more goals there. And
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Falkirk 3, Kilmarnock 0. Just as Hugh Keevins was saying it, it normally happens the other way about, but this time he said Falkirk could extend their lead, and they do. Calvin Miller this time with the goal. What a day it is for Falkirk, and what a miserable day it is for Kilmarnock and Stuart Kettlewell. It is an absolute battering, according to Roger Hanna. It was a flick on by Brian Graham, who he's come on for the injured Ross McKeever, so they've had to make a change as well. That went to Wilson. The pass for Miller, who slid it home. 3-0 to Falkirk.
That's serious time for Kilmarnock. I mean, when you're losing at the promoted club, when the game's finished, long before half time, and it's your 4th defeat in a row, this is serious time. They've got to address the situation.
Well, we know
that was John McGlynn on. Just to say
Is that the Nokia one?
Yeah, that was somebody giving information there. I'm sure.
I'll stop you there. It's all happening.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Hearts 2, Dundee 0. Pierre Landry Cabore, he has been starved for opportunities to play, really, but he gets his chance. He's in for Claudio Braga today, and he's got himself a goal as well. He is another that was part of the Jamestown crew. I'll tell you what, I'll stop there.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Livingston 1, Hibs 1, and it is a goal for the home side to equalise. Pittman with a low cross and Jeremy Bakila with a left foot strike. So goals in all the games in the space of about 2 or 3 minutes. They are quite incredible, maybe even less than that.
Does this one definitely count?
As it stands, that one is counting, yes.
So, I mean, you've got to give Livingston credit. Hibs getting off to a fantastic start, and you know the confidence been low, the position of them in the league. They've bounced back up until now, get themselves back in the game.
Listen, that's the word.
What have you heard?
Clydebank are 1-up against Celtic B.
Are they? I was passing there. I've seen some of the fans get in.
Is that just down
there?
Yeah,
Home Park.
Yeah.
Home Park.
Right.
My daughter and my son-in-law and my grandson are there. 1-up.
Right, that was a hectic period, so I'll just give you the lay of the land in the Premiership in case you couldn't keep track. It is Hearts 2, Dundee 0, Falkirk 3, Kilmarnock 0, Livingston 1, Hibs 1. Lindsay Heron, who is at that Livingston Hibs game, saying that equaliser is well deserved for Livingston. They've looked good, and Hearts have that goal through Pierre Landry Cabore, and that's the type of thing that other teams won't like the look of. That Claudio Braga is rested today or dropped, or it's for whatever reason is changed. Pierre Landry Cabore comes in, who hasn't had many chances, was signed along with other players who have impressed this summer, and he's got himself a goal now as well.
This is what it's supposed to be about. We'll focus on the fact that they're now 9 points clear of Celtic and 14 clear of Rangers, but they are genuine contenders because they have that strength and depth which you are referring to, Andrew. You know, it's not like back in the day when Dundee United won the title having used only 13 players all season. They've got a big squad and they're using it.
Yeah, and they do have some injuries as well, Hearts, and some players, certainly one, maybe more than one, to come in January.
Did Fraser saying 31 players?
Oh, it's a huge squad, yeah. I think it is 31 that Hearts have. It's a massive squad.
You'd need 2 dressing rooms for that, wouldn't you? 31
How do you take 31 for training?
Yeah, exactly. And how do you take them to the games? You must have about 3 buses.
It's funny,
a lot of players.
We were just talking about it, about Hearts not blowing anybody away, but they're threatening to blow Dundee away.
Yeah, everybody's proved us wrong. I thought Kilmarnock would win. They're done. Hearts have not blown anybody away. They could be probably 3-0 up by the time half time comes. The only game I'm interested in now is Lindsay's game. I've switched off from the rest of them. The results are in.
Yeah, Livingston Hibs, surely more goals to come in that game, but it looks as if Livingston are in the ascendancy after getting that equaliser. Hugh, should we check in on that teaser?
Why not?
I'll let him rustle his paper and find the correct one first.
5 men have made appearances for both Motherwell and St Mirren, but they're currently playing with a championship club. Can you name them?
Yep.
How are you getting on?
5.
You two?
Yeah, we've got them.
No.
You think you've got them?
No, we're not a team here. It's individuals.
You've got them. That's what you need.
I've got them, and he's siding the guy that's never won a game. He beat the pundit.
This season, add this season to that sentence.
Okay.
Show your answers to Hugh, and we'll see how many you've got right out of the 5.
Let me see now.
My writing's not that great, Hugh. I'm a scribbler.
Wraith Rovers have taken the lead over Morton. Jack Hamilton
Just
with
say
the goal.
5. Just say 5, Hugh, and let's go on with it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All 5?
Done the lot.
Flat.
So either it's good work from Gordon Dalziel, or the more likely option is that he is, by hook or crook, managed to get the answers before we came on air.
I told you honestly I was going to cheat. That's as honest as I can be.
Double bluff.
But I didn't cheat.
You didn't cheat. You're saying you didn't cheat
No,
this time.
No.
He's got the happy handful.
But don't get me wrong, Saturday's not finished.
Clyde 1, Dumbarton 1. It's an equaliser for the visitors. Leighton McIntosh with a goal 41 minutes into that game. So we are getting closer to the half-time scores. But still a few minutes left to
I'll
go.
tell you what, it's as lively a first half as I can remember. You know, for 3 matches, and we've got 6 goals.
Yep.
7 goals.
7 goals. Yeah.
7 goals.
Yeah, plenty going on.
And more to come, Hugh. Let me say, we're not going to stop there.
I really have to say, Kilmarnock, it's a very, very serious time for them now.
Does he come under pressure with this?
Well, you know what fans are like.
I know.
You know, they'll just look and say
4 on the bounce.
I do think that is the sort of immediate reaction for supporters these days. Is just, if things don't go well for even a short period of time, is to pile pressure on the manager. But they had an alright start to the season. Stuart Kettlewell has had a lot of turnover.
But
is it a case of pressure for his job when the table is so tight, or is it just leave it a bit of time, see what happens?
Let's say this goes to a 5 or a 6, for example, for the sake of conversation. Then fans say 4 defeats in a row, we're going down towards the dangerous part of the table, and we're getting turned over badly by the club who were in the Championship last season. So the pressure will rise, and I think I'm right in saying that they have Celtic next weekend at Celtic Park. Is that possible?
Yeah, they do. Yep.
I mean, that's just a nightmare for them.
Spartans 2, East Kilbride 0. That's a big game in League 2, that one. Cammy Russell getting the second goal.
Well, Spartans put East Kilbride out the cup last weekend.
Yeah,
they're the bogey team.
3 minutes added between Falkirk and Kilmarnock at the Falkirk Stadium, so Kilmarnock will just be hoping that they don't concede a 4th before they go in and speak to Stuart Kettlewell, or he speaks to them.
We get a regular caller, as you know, Simon, who's a big Killie fan and a bit level-headed guy, and he came on at one stage this season and said, hands up, I didn't want Stuart Kettlewell, but he's doing a grand job now. Well, 4 defeats later, I think we'll ask him the question
3
again.
substitutions at half time. Put the kettle on for it. It's happening. That's what managers do. I've seen it before.
Is it retrievable? Is it in any way retrievable?
No.
Look, any manager that goes in 3-0 up at half time and loses should be sacked. Yeah, it happened to me in Inverness. I was 3-0 up in the Scottish Cup and I got beat 4-3.
Is that right?
Yeah. Nothing to do with me. My players just didn't follow instructions.
Was that in 90 minutes as well?
Yeah.
Shall we get
Didn't even go to extra time.
Didn't even go to extra time.
Oh yes, let's do this, Hugh, before we get the half-time scores.
Yeah.
The first half teaser.
With the scottishsun.co.uk/football for the best football news and opinion online.
The 5 men who made appearances for both Motherwell and St Mirren and are currently playing with a Championship club are Tony Watt at Partick Thistle, Declan Gallagher, who's at Ross County, Trevor Carson, also at Ross County, James Scott, also at Ross County, and Curtis Main at Ayr United.
Third place on the podium, Kevin 1967. In second place it's M Forbes 6186, but quickest off the mark, Susie McClellan is the winner of the first half teaser. We'll have a Who Am I coming up for the second half, but let's go to Tynecastle. It's half time between Hearts and Dundee. Fraser Wishart.
Yeah, Hearts 2, Dundee 0. Today so far has been about patience. The fans are happy now, but both on and off the park had to show patience. Hearts not been at their very best. Took the time to get going, but the fans have been good. They've got behind their team, and goals eventually came from strikers Lauren Shankland and Pierre Landry Cabori. That's the difference in the opener. Shankland came just seconds after Dundee almost took a shock lead. A really slow start to the game, which wasn't expected from Hearts. They find it hard to get any decent possession, the ball not sticking up front. Dundee dropping deep, happy to frustrate, defending really well. Robertson and Cometio outstanding, neither keeper had anything to do. And Harry Milne playing at left back today was Hearts' biggest threat in the first 45 minutes. He got an early shot, very poor contact, but it just went a yard wide. Then a good running cross was cleared at full stretch in front of goal by Cometio. Kizari just on the right, unable to get into the game. Shankland and Landry Cabori snuffed out with the Dundee back three, and we passed 25 minutes with no shots from either team. In fact, not really an effort at goal, never mind on target. The first effort came in 28 minutes, and it was Dundee winger Cameron Congreve playing on the left, He cut inside, hit a right foot shot, took a slight deflection off the shoulder of Cammy Devlin, and it hit the corner of the Barron post and out for a corner with Schworloff beaten and unable to get it. I think it would have been inside the post. 31 minutes though came the opener, the first sign of Hearts as an attacking threat. Harry Milne again involved. Good run down the left hand side. He broke towards the 18-yard box. He squared it to Lon Shanklin, 20 yards out. Good touch, left foot shot in off the left hand post from 28 yards with McCracken well beaten. It was 2-0 in 38 minutes. Milne again was involved, this time an out-swinging corner to the penalty spot. Ushin McEntee was highest to jump. He headed the ball down from the penalty spot. Ladry Kabor, if he's back to goal inside the 6-yard box, just hooked the ball into the back of the net. Difficult to see Dundee get back into this one. Hearts very comfortable without being anywhere near their best. Half time at Tynecastle, Hearts 2, Dundee 0.
Half time at the Falkirk Stadium. What an opening 45 minutes, Roger Hannah.
Yeah, Falkirk 3, Kilmarnock 0, Andrew. I said a couple of weeks ago when I did Hibs 4, Livy 0 that it might be the most one-sided game I see this season. Well, we've got a challenger for that title already. Falkirk have been brilliant. Kilmarnock have been abysmal. It's 3 going on anything you like. Calvin Miller, he initially had a shot early on that was held low down by Toby Oluwayemi, the on-loan Kilmarnock goalkeeper, and that just indicated where the Bears were going to go. Miller's next involvement was creating the opening goal after just 7 minutes. It was a defence-splitting pass through to the Manchester United loanee Ethan Williams. He went round Oluwayemi, rolled the ball into the net. He was disappointed. The linesman's flag went up on the far side, but the VAR official John Beaton watched it again and told referee David Dickinson he had been onside, and that was 1-0. The second goal came in 22 minutes. This time it was another loanee, Kyrell Wilson, a long range shot. It was spilled by Oluwayemi right out to Ross McKeever, and he knocked it in from close range. The easiest finish you'll have this season. It was his last big involvement. He limped off. He had taken a knock a couple of minutes earlier and he just couldn't see it through. He went off. On came big Brian Graham, and he played a crucial role in the third goal. After 38 minutes, he flicked it on into the path of Williams down the left hand side. He played a quick pass inside to Miller, who rolled it under Oluwayemi for a third. It could be more. Keelan Adams has been off target. Philip Lissa had a sort of miss-hit cross. It was clawed out at the near post by Oluwayemi, and the 3 behind the front men, Wilson, Williams and Miller, are absolutely terrorising Kilmarnock. As the Dazzler said, I would expect multiple substitutions by Stuart Kettlewell at half-time. They have not been seen as an attacking threat. Scott Bain would be as well sitting up the back row with me for all the involvement he's had in the first half. John McGlynn will be absolutely delighted by this first half performance, but it is worrying for Killie. They're in a tailspin. They're heading for a 4th straight league defeat. Falkirk are heading for 3 points. At the break, it's Falkirk 3, Kilmarnock 0.
And half time between Livingston and Hibs. Lindsay Heron.
Yeah, half time, Andrew. It's Livingston 1, Hibs 1. Quite a remarkable first half. Hibs scoring inside 36 seconds, but then lucky to be going in level at half time, to be quite honest with you. Davy Martindale's lines have been sensational after losing the goal so early in the game, and got themselves into contention to get themselves going again after soaking up some Hibs pressure for about the first 10 minutes or so, and they really feel aggrieved. They've had 2 goals disallowed and obviously got the one just before half time to get them level. And Davy Martindale trying to have a word with Callum Scott at the end of the half, with the official being booed off by the home supporters. But let's go back to that opening moment, and a great moment in there for Jamie McGrath. Missed a penalty, of course, against Rangers during the week, and just 36 seconds in, got the ball outside the box, 22 yards out, curled a magnificent left foot strike into the left corner. No chance for the goalkeeper, and then Hibs looked terrific in the next 15 minutes or so. Martin Boyle looking sharp up front and almost getting in to get his shot away inside 7 minutes, but gradually Livy came back into this, and then there are 2 goals disallowed in the space of 60 seconds. Stevie May had the ball in the net in 15 minutes, but it was judged that Christian Montano had fouled in the build-up to that, and then Stevie Pittman also scored, but again Callum Scott ruled that out for a foul. Then it was Hibs' turn to have a goal disallowed. Rocky Bushiri knocking the ball into the net after a knockdown from Grant Hanley following McGrath's free kick. Flagged offside, and he was clearly offside. VAR confirming it, but it was quite a clear decision for the referee. Then, in 37 minutes, finally, Livy got their reward. Stevie Pittman working the angles superbly on the right-hand side. A low-driven cross, and Jeremy Bokila running in beautifully to slot the ball into the left corner with his left foot. Half-time here at Amon Vale. Livingston 1, Hibs 1.
All the half-time scores coming up next.
Scottish football's league leader. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Half-time scores in the Scottish Premiership. It's Falkirk 3, Kilmarnock 0, Hearts 2, Dundee 0, Livingston 1, Hibs 1. In the Championship, it's Arbroath 1, Ross County 0, Partick Thistle 2, Queen's Park 0, Wraith Rovers 1, Morton 0, St Johnstone 1, Airdrieonians 0. Into League 2, it's Alloa 2, Kelty Hearts 0, Cove Rangers 1, Peterhead 1, East Fife 0, Hamilton 0, Inverness 0, Montrose 0, and Queen of the South 1, Stenhousemuir 0. In League 2, it's Clyde 1, Dumbarton 1, Elgin 1, Annan 0, Spartans 2, East Kilbride 0, Stirling Albion 0, Edinburgh City 1, Stranraer 1, Forfar Athletic 0. Into the English Premier League, and it's Brighton 1, Leeds United 0, Burnley 0, Arsenal 2, Crystal Palace 1, Brentford 0, Fulham 1, Wolves 0, Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 1. And before we get the second halfs underway, let me tell you about this.
Oh my! Make me a winner. Bonfire special. Clyde One.
You could be the winner of £600,000. To get 100 entries into the draw, text BANK to 61025. Texts are £10 plus your standard network rate, or for £2.50 plus your standard network rate, you'll get 15 entries. Text YES to 61025 for that, or you can call 03434 269 340. Calls are charged at the standard rate. It's over 18s only. Online entry and all the rules for this Rail Network competition are at makemeawinner.co.uk. Lines close at 5 o'clock next Friday, and all you need to do if you get the call is just answer your phone. Simple as that, and £600,000 will be yours, paid straight into your bank account in time for the weekend. So enter now, text YES to 61025.
The fastest goals, the experts' opinions. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Second half's just getting underway across Scotland. Very interesting, those first halves, and I'm sure there will be more goals to come. Looking at your predictions as well, Gordon Dalziel, you're completely out
I'm
of it.
still in it.
You tipped Kilmarnock to win. They're 3-0 down to Falkirk at half time.
Yeah, hold on a minute. You can still win the game. Has he made 3 substitutions yet?
He actually has. I'll bring you those next.
The second half teaser.
Or I'll actually just click the correct button. That'll be good.
Clyde One Super Scoreboard Goal Flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy. Get set for the season with expert pharmacy support.
Yeah, 3 changes for Kilmarnock. Lowry, Brown and John Jules, the new signing, have all come on, and off go Brannan, McKenzie and Dackers. 3 changes I think were probably the minimum that Stuart Kettlewell was going to make at the break, just given that first half.
Well, that's always the sign of condemnation. You've looked at your team first half and thought, seriously bad. So you make the triple substitution. Did we mention the honourable mention for Partick Thistle are now 2 up?
Well, I mentioned it during the half-time scores, but I was surprised at it when I read their score, because they actually scored in the 11th minute of injury time to go 2-0 up, so it's only really just gone half-time, and it's Partick Thistle 2, Queen's Park 0. I think it was an injury to Charlie Fox, Queen's Park defender, lengthy stoppage in that one, so hopefully he's okay. I'm not sure what the injury was, but Partick Thistle have a 2-0 lead over Queen's Park, and that one will finish a lot later than the rest of the games.
So that's adding insult to injury for Queen's Park. 2 behind. Can't really see them come back from that, or Mark Wilson and Alec Ray will be disgusted with their own team. So St Johnstone are up as well. Thistle have to keep in touch with St Johnstone.
Well, let's do this now, Hugh, since I already clicked the button 2 seconds ago.
The second half teaser
with the scottishsun.co.uk/football for the best football news and opinion online.
I think this is difficult, but every time I say that, the Dazzler gets it 1 minute later.
No, come on.
I have played with Connor Salmon, Anton Ferdinand and Grant Hanley. I've been managed by Martin O'Neill and Mark Warburton. I only played 1 full season in Scotland and featured at an international tournament for my country. Who am I? Played with Connor Salmon, Anton Ferdinand and Grant Hanley. Managed by Martin O'Neill and Mark Warburton. Played 1 full season in Scotland and featured at an international tournament for my country. Who am I?
Yeah, that could be a tough one. A lot of detail, so you will get the full question at Clyde SSB on Twitter. And remember, that is where we want your answers. It is a race, so first is top of the podium, and we'll announce who is second and third as well, if we manage to get it. How are you feeling about that one, Gordon?
Difficult. I'm feeling more. I'm looking at Sid, and he's giving it the shaking of the head, like, oh, don't really know that one. We've got every confidence you don't know that one.
I was leaning towards halfway through Malky Mackay, but then it went severely south.
I love how you just looked at me there as if he'd potentially given away the answer, but I can confirm it is not.
Yeah, I've every confidence and Sid never given away the answer.
It's not.
That was one of the all-time great full-time teaser moments when Alec Ray gave away that it was Ian Wright.
Yeah,
was it in the day, and he'd written it down secretly and shown it, and then straight away went into a story about when he'd met Ian Wright and just mentioned him by name and gave it away instantly.
Story about a punch-up.
Yeah. That's a standard Alec Ray story, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's all right. I don't think there's been too much in the way of that between Partick Thistle and Queen's Park today, as a 2-0 lead, as we mentioned, for Partick Thistle in that game. Still a 3-0 lead for Falkirk over Kilmarnock. We'll see if any of those changes made by Stuart Kettlewell do anything to try and just get a bit of, I don't know, respect back.
Yeah, I think that's the stage of the game for Kilmarnock. Respect today. I don't see them getting anything at all. Terrible first half. He's made changes. Yeah, just go out and try and win the second half. But I probably think Falkirk will maybe get another goal or two.
You're coming out with all cliches now. Go out and win the second half.
The game's gone.
Oh, Kilmarnock have the ball in the net. It's been ruled out for a foul on Scott Bain. It was a Robbie Dees header. It's going to a VAR check. Roger thinks it was a harsh call, but Scott Bain is down needing treatment. So does that potentially suggest that there was an infringement? We'll wait and see. But it could be the dream start to the second half for Kilmarnock after a nightmare in the first half.
If you'd seen out the corner of your eye that the referee's waiting for a VAR check, you and your Scott Bain, you just keep lying down and don't move.
The thing is, that would maybe work back in the day, wouldn't it? But not with VAR now. You'll see everything.
Well, they don't get it right all the time.
Yeah, that is fair. But just over-exaggerating injuries doesn't really help things. Inverness 1, Montrose 0. Chanka Zimba with the goal 4 minutes into the second half in that game. So Inverness 1-0 up. We'll be getting the teams from Hampden shortly. Within the next 10 minutes, I think we'll go to David Friel and get the team, see who has been selected for Motherwell against St Mirren. It'll have been a huge midweek as well for all the players involved in those matches for, in the last few weeks building up to the game. How desperate will the players have been just to try and be in the best possible form to get selected for this game today?
Listen, players will definitely have that in their heads in the weeks leading up to it, trying to perform, trying to catch the manager's eye. 100%. Semi-finals don't come around every day of the week, so like some Motherwell, St Mirren, they'll be desperate to be involved, the players.
There was a big early chance in the second half for Hibs, for Martin Boyle specifically. It was Mulligan's pass to Boyle, but shot straight at Jerome Prior. So Hibs trying to take the lead again.
What about this VAR check then?
Kelly goal.
Yeah, still
5
no
minutes
news
for that to get solved.
Yeah, still no news from that. We've all got an update from Roger Hanna. No goal.
Yeah, well, the day just goes from bad to worse for Stuart Kettlewell. But as you said,
it actually wasn't a long check. Rogers just admitted that he actually just forgot to update
us. So the worry goes on for Stuart Kettlewell. If the scoreline worsens, then so does his position, because the fans will not stand for a heavy defeat. This is bad enough at 3, but any heavier, and it's your 4th defeat in a row, then the fans get very tetchy.
This is another sign of why Hearts fans will love Alex Kizaridis, because yes, on the ball he is very flashy, he gets goals, he gets assists, he's a real danger as well. But Fraser Wishart telling us that Kizaridis lost the ball on the edge of the Dundee box. It was a bad touch from him, but then sprinted 60 yards across the pitch to recover it in the right back area. So he's not only doing the flashy things, being productive at one end of the park, he's putting in that hard work to make sure that Hearts get that result today.
He seems to absolutely love being at Hearts, being part of Scottish football. He's had a child born here, and everything in his garden is rosy in Edinburgh. And he's another Tony Bloom find, and this is very important for Heart of Midlothian.
Yeah, Hearts threatening in the early stages of this second half. Shankland and Devlin both with shots from the edge of the box, both straight at John McCracken though. I wonder if he'll maybe be thinking about a potential Scotland call-up, because there are of course injuries. Angus Gunn injured, isn't he?
Yeah, it's a big one, isn't it? Especially when we've got backup goalkeepers that aren't playing. And
Scotland's starting goalkeepers that aren't getting on the bench for their teams.
How do you get injured if you're not playing? In training?
Well, presumably.
Must be.
That is a big worry, isn't it? You wonder who.
It was a position that was so strong for years.
We were spoiled. Absolutely spoiled. Maclean, Gordon, David Marshall era.
Yep.
Not like that now.
Yeah. I'm not a lover of goalkeepers. The modern day goalkeeper don't save the ball. They don't. They either play with their feet or they punch it. Never catch it. Never.
A goal a few moments ago I didn't bring you. Adama Sidibe has his second for St Johnstone, so they're 2-0 up against Airdrieonians. Probably a result that people expected to go that way.
Yeah, and Thistle are 2 up, so St Johnstone will remain top, and the Jags will be behind them, 3 points behind them.
The Pars have creeped up the league. I seen the table there after a good one at Somerset last night. Turned it on, fantastic game, couldn't keep my eyes off it.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
It looked like a third goal was coming for Hearts, and it has. Hearts 3, Dundee 0, and it's Pierre Landry Cabore again, the man who's being kept out the team by Claudio Braga, who was signed in the summer and has been very impressive. Pierre Landry Cabore also signed in the summer and looks to be very impressive as well. His second of the day, and the goals keep coming for Hearts, the points keep coming for Hearts, and it looks as if they'll have a 9-point advantage at the end of this weekend.
Is Cabore another Jamestown Analytics?
Yes. Came from the Estonian top flight, I believe. But it was a shot, I think it was a wonderful save initially by McCracken, who tipped Blair Spittle's shot onto the post or onto the bar. Maybe the sort of mix of the two, and it was the easiest finish ever from Cabore, who was just following in side-footed into the middle of the goal, his second of the day, and Hearts are cruising.
If you're going to go 9 clear at the top, do it in style, and that's the way to do it. We all agreed that if you're playing Dundee at Tynecastle with the incentive of going 9 points clear at the top of the league, you have to take that incentive.
Yeah, and for individuals, you've got to look at the fact that you're not starting the games. You get opportunity. What do? Score goals.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Keep yourself in there. Put a bit of pressure on Braga, Shanklin, whoever it may be. But you've got to keep scoring goals, and the lad's doing that.
I think that'll be the pleasing factor for McInnes, that he's shuffled that pack today. And as it stands, with not even an hour on the clock, the game's as good as gone. Hearts have blown Dundee away, get 2 goals before half time. I think that'll be the thing that pleases him, because those players that have come in, the likes of Braga, they've all impressed, but he's chose to leave them out today, and this lad's popped in with 2 goals.
The other thing, Simon, which is interesting, Celtic play Midtjylland on Thursday. Rangers have Roma. Hearts don't have Europe now. I know that's a bad thing, that's their fault, but when it comes to next weekend, Celtic and Rangers will have had that complication, if I can put it that
Hearts
way.
have got a home game against Dundee United. I know what you're saying there, Hugh. I think it's actually a good thing now for Hearts.
They don't have Europe.
100%. I know money and everybody wants to be involved in Europe, but if they're looking at this league just now, they're looking at Celtic, they're looking at Rangers, and I think best opportunity we'll ever have. I agree. I would rather not have Europe.
They've got momentum as well. They've got a bit of harmony as well. You look at Rangers and Celtic just now, there's still, this harmony there in different elements. I mean, Celtic had the protest on Wednesday night before the game. So you look at Hearts, everybody's pushing in the one direction at the moment, so the momentum is with them.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Livingston 1, Hibs 2, and it's Martin Boyle back in the starting lineup today and back amongst the goals.
I don't want to worry you, but My Aka would be perfect. If it,
just
mine was perfect just to that goal.
I'm just waiting in command.
It was a pass from Mulligan from the right. Boyle with a cool finish about 8 yards out, and Hibs are back ahead in that game. It has been end to end. There has been plenty of openings, chances. The ball has been in the net, goals ruled out, disallowed. This one is going to stand, and David Gray will be hoping that Hibs can hold on to the lead this time.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have no excuse. You know, you've got players on the park like Boyle who can really do you a turn. They're ahead. Libby have had a difficult afternoon with VAR. So there's no excuse for Hibs. I think once you hit the home straight and you're 2-1 up, you've got to see it through to the finish line.
We're certainly getting goals here.
Yeah.
We're certainly getting goals. Off to a good weekend. And still more to come, surely.
Yeah, I think so.
Still more to come. By the way, I think I've got the half-time. What's it? Who am I?
Let me tell you what it's all about.
You've only been doing this show for how many years?
About 15.
I have played.
What is it called?
I have played.
Who am I?
Right.
I have played with Connor Salmon, Anton Ferdinand, and Grant Hanley. Been managed by Martin O'Neill and Mark Warburton. I only played one full season in Scotland.
Yeah, I've got it.
And featured at an international tournament for my country. Who am I?
Right, write it down and show Hugh Keevins. I thought it was a tough one, by the way, but quite a few out there on Twitter have already got it. Gordon Dale writing his answer down. Hugh Keevins looking at it.
I'm absolutely delighted to tell you he's wrong.
Oh, really?
Oh, you're joking me.
Who did you say?
Senderos, he said.
Oh, no.
He played under Martin O'Neill. Did he not play with Aston Villa?
You've got to get the whole.
Yeah, but it's not. It has to meet all the criteria. It can't just meet one of them, and that's
well,
it.
he played under Warburton. There you go, 2. That's good enough.
Still needs to meet them all.
I'm raging at that.
I don't think he ever played with Grant Hanley, did he? Or Connor Salmon?
Well, we don't know that yet.
I think we do know that. It's definitely not Philippe Senderos.
So confident, mate.
I thought you had it.
Do you want to give us the full question again, Hugh, and I'll read out some answers that are coming in on Twitter.
I have played with Connor Salmon, Anton Ferdinand and Grant Hanley. I have been managed by Martin O'Neill and Mark Warburton. I only played one full season in Scotland and featured at an international tournament for my country. Who am I?
I will say before we go through some answers, Simon Murray has the ball in the net for Dundee at Tynecastle, but I think the flag went up, so that will be checked to see whether that one will count or not. Just going back to Twitter, some of the answers. Wee Scooch says Darren Randolph.
No.
Xander Fulton has gone for Chris Martin.
Nope.
What else have we got here? Kyle and a couple of others have gone for Joey Barton.
No, not Joey.
And Stacey Bradley says Joe Garner.
No.
Okay, keep those answers coming. The offside has been confirmed, so that one is not going to count. Right, shall we go and get the big team news at Hampden? Motherwell against St Mirren, League Cup semi-final. David Friel is there.
Yeah, Andrew, what a game this is going to be. So much focus on tomorrow with the Old Firm game, but I think this first semi-final should be a cracker. It's a massive night for both clubs. They're eyeing a place in next month's final. The SPFL, I think we're hoping for a crowd of around 25,000. I think it's going to be slightly less. 9,000 tickets sold by each team. As things stand, the place will be loud in time for kick-off. I can see some pre-prepared tifos across from me. I think there's going to be a lot of colour, a lot of noise when the two teams come out, and there's just so much at stake for both. Let's start with Motherwell. They haven't won this competition since 1950. To put that in perspective and keep in with the events of the week, that's before Martin O'Neill was even born. They were last in the final in 2017 under Stephen Robinson, incidentally, but there is a belief that this could be the year under Jens Bertel Askew, playing some great stuff. St Mirren stand on their way tonight. They last won the Cup in 2013 when Danny Lennon's side famously beat Hearts in the final. That was a classic. They have been to League Cup semi-finals since. That was in the COVID season when they lost to Livingston. This is a welcome return for the Buddies fans, and I think they're up for it as well. For me, it's a 50-50 game. I think both teams are really evenly matched. You can make a case for either of them. Motherwell do start as slight favourites with the bookies. Please gamble responsibly. And I think that's because they've arguably played the best football in the league this season. As I said, Jens Bertel-Askew's got them going. They knock the ball about really, really well, and the vast Hampden pitch should suit them. However, only a fool would write off St Mirren and Stephen Robinson. They'll arrive here fully believing they can get to the final. They can cause any team in the league problems, As I said, it should be a cracker. Both teams get decent results in midweek. Motherwell excellent in the 2-0 win over Dundee United. St Mirren unlucky not to beat Hearts with that controversial Miguel Freckleton goal ruled out. The last meeting earlier this season was a 0-0 draw, but St Mirren actually haven't beaten Motherwell in over 2 years, so I don't know if that's an omen. Jens Bertalascu's men sit 4 points above them in the league, but this is too close to call. I'm just going to say it could go all the way to penalties. Just go through the team. Saw you 5 changes from Motherwell. I think the big one is Liam Gordon is in for Stephen Welsh. Stephen Welsh on loan from Celtic's been so good, but Liam Gordon comes in for him. Stephen O'Donnell also misses out from injury, so Emmanuel Longelo comes in at the back. Elijah Just, Ibrahim Said, there's no surprise there, and also Apostolos Stamatolopoulos comes in for Callum Hendry in attack. So Motherwell will be the usual 4-2-3-1. Callum Ward in goals, Johnny Katrumbas, Paul McGinn, Liam Gordon and Emmanuel Longelo at the back. Lucas Verdinga, Elliot Watt, Tawanda Maswanisi, Elijah Just, Ibrahim Said and Apostolos Stamatolopoulos. Subs for Motherwell are Connolly, Bammer, Sparrow, Slattery, Halliday, Priestman, Welsh, Hendry and Regan Charles Cook. As for St Mirren, 2 changes from midweek, no surprise again. Alec Gogic and Jayden Richardson were both suspended against Hearts. They're back in and they replace Richard King and Conor McMenamin. So Shamal George in goals, back 3 Marcus Fraser, Alec Gogic and Miguel Freckleton, Jayden Richardson, Keanu Bacchus, Mark O'Hara, Killian Phillips and Declan John across the middle, with Dan Lundulu and Mikael Mandron up front. Subs for St Mirren are Mullen, King, Tanser, Donnelly, McMenamin, Idulu, Dyke, Steele, Ayunga and Mooney. The referee is Don Robertson and the VAR at Hampden is Greg Aitken.
Yeah, looking forward to that one. We will head back to David Friel a bit later on to get more build up. My favourite part of that, Hugh Keevins, was David Friel giving us the context of how long it had been since Motherwell won the League Cup. 1950. He said Martin O'Neill hadn't even been born yet. Hugh Keevins was 1 year old.
Yes. Yeah, that's absolutely undeniably true. I don't remember the game, I have to be honest, but yeah, I was a year old when Motherwell last won that trophy.
Who did they beat? Fair question. Yeah, there you go. Get your answers on.
Shouldn't you know that?
I do know. I'm just wanting to see if you guys know. 1950. End-to-end game.
Who was it again?
You tell me and I'll tell you if you're correct.
Well, first of all, it wasn't end-to-end, it was 3-0.
There you go.
That's a good start.
End-to-end. Come on, Sid, you should know that.
I'll go Dundee.
You're just narrowing down the options for Gordon Dalziel now. That's his game. He's going to get you guys to guess, and then finally he's going to take a stab at it
all day long.
Yeah, go for it.
I would like you to give me the answer so that I can tell you if you're right or wrong.
No, we'll just leave it at that then. That's
okay,
fine. We'll just leave it until you decide to come up with an answer.
It's always well spoke about round about the Motherwell area. Remember 1950 when we won the cup? Got to do it again this year.
Charlton 1, Swansea 1. Wouldn't normally give you that score, but it's a goal for Adam Ida.
Yeah, cup final hero for Celtic in the Scottish Cup. And ironic, tomorrow Celtic don't know if Johnny Kenny will start or Dyson Maeda, or I think Martin O'Neill even suggested that Kelechi Iheanacho could be fit for the game. So who would you pick?
If fit, Iheanacho.
Yeah.
But if not, I think Johnny Kenny gets it after Wednesday. Maybe Maeda on the left. Maybe.
Kilmarnock had the ball in the net again for the second time since half time. It was Bruce Anderson with the ball in the net. The flag went up again. It was a pass from Scott Tiffany, went to VAR, no goal on that one. So Kilmarnock certainly looking a bit better since making those changes.
We've had an awful lot of VAR action around those 3 games today. So
in fairness, I think a lot of them seem to have been the correct decision, that the goals were ruled out and VAR has just backed up those points. Not that tend to get a lot of praise, officials, for that type of thing, but it looks across the board really today that they seem to have got them right on the pitch, and then VAR have just backed up the fact that the decisions have been correct.
Wait for Gordon Duncan and Willie Collum.
Yeah, that'll be good, won't it?
Yeah.
Well, Hugh, like a good marriage, I'm coming back for more here. Right, I think I've got it.
Right.
Ooh, he's got another answer.
Right, for the Who Am I for the second half teaser, Gordon Dalziel's having a second guess. He went for Philippe Senderos. First of all, this time he's gone for someone. Hugh, is it correct?
Bang on.
Oh, he's got it second time of asking. No idea how he got it. He's not going to reveal his secrets but then we'll ask him the working out later
All
on.
right, you can ask me. I've got it all written down.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that later on. Another goal for Brighton. Hugh, Diego Gomez making it 2-0 against Leeds. So it's a good day for the Seagulls.
Yeah, another good day for Jamestown Analytics.
One of these in the top flight.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Falkirk 3, Kilmarnock 1. Is it potentially game on, because Kilmarnock have looked to be getting closer to scoring since half time, and they do now have that goal. John Jules, the new signing who came off the bench at half time, smart turn and finish. They deserve that goal according to Roger Hanna.
Well, we've still got 20 minutes to go. It would be an absolute shocker for John McGlynn and all connected with Falkirk if that lead were to be squandered. But 20 minutes to go, 2 goals, possible point on the cards.
I'm going to give you another cliche.
Mac is back on.
Game of 2 halves.
Yeah, like it.
Roger said Falkirk were giving them a bit of a doing in that first half, but Kilmarnock seem to have improved with the 3 subs. I just can't see it though, Daz.
Yeah. Another quick goal and the panic stations.
Tyrese John Jules it is, who is one of the new signings at Kilmarnock after the injury that they got. Gennaro Daniels had to bring in another striker, and he's managed to get off the mark now.
The only fear you would have for them is that at Kilmarnock at the moment you'd have to score a lot of goals to make up for the concession of even more goals at the back. So if Falkirk were to make it 4-1, then it really and truly is all over.
Yeah, but if Kilmarnock can get a quick goal here,
yeah.
All of a sudden a little bit of pressure. So we're still good. I keep saying it, the way the afternoon's going, still got more goals.
Yeah, it's looking that way.
Hearts making some changes now. The fans had been singing for Claudio Braga, who was warming up, and he is coming on for Landry Kabore. So it's not going to be a hat-trick for the Burkina Faso international. Claudio Braga, probably not a sight that the Dundee defenders want to see him coming on, because he is a nuisance to play against. Milne and Spittle also off, and it's Magnuson and Kingsley coming on.
The crowd love him. All we need is Claudio Braga. But listen to this one.
Go.
Ipswich, Kieran McKenna in the frame for the Celtic job. Queen's Park Rangers, he played them in London today. He's 4-1 up in London against Queen's Park Rangers. Kieran McKenna, Simon, are you having him?
To be honest, I haven't seen a lot of Ipswich. He's got a decent reputation. I think he's one of the favourites as well.
Yep.
But I couldn't honestly comment on Ipswich. I don't really.
He would drive up in a tractor to find
Here we go.
Once Celtic paid a £5 million compensation. Not that they don't have the money.
Yeah.
But it'd be a fascinating business altogether, the Celtic management story, because
he was tipped for Man United at one point, wasn't he?
But I mean, here you have Celtic in the Europa League with, you have to imagine, Martin O'Neill still at the helm on Thursday, away to Midtjylland, and the speculation will continue to grow. But Kieran McKenna 4-1 up in London against QPR.
There has just been so much happening at Celtic with Brendan Rodgers' departure, the ill feeling with the board, the comments from Dermot Desmond, the fact that Martin O'Neill and Sean Maloney are taking the team, the fact that they're playing Rangers in the League Cup semi-final tomorrow. That there's maybe not been as much focus on who the next manager is going to be as there possibly would have been, just if there wasn't other storylines going on. It's quite fascinating.
Yeah, you're correct in what you say. I think, first of all, you had the sudden nature of Brendan Rodgers going. None of us was prepared for that story at 10 minutes to 10 on Monday night. And then at 10 o'clock you had the Dermot Desmond statement, and that just took everyone by surprise. So you wake up in the morning and you've got all sorts of storylines going on. Why did Brendan go? Why is John Kennedy being taken out of the equation? Why did Dermot Desmond launch that verbal attack on Brendan Rodgers? So you're right. You then have a whole list of people who are potential candidates, but there's been too much football going on. Celtic had a game against Falkirk to negotiate. Then, of course, it's all about Hampden, Rangers, Cup semi-final. So no one's actually fully focused on who's going to get this job. But there's Kieran McKenna. Many people, I think, would have him as their first choice.
Do you think he would come, Hugh? Seriously?
I think if you are brought by the lure of Europe, a club that's got plenty of money in the bank, you wonder to what extent Dermot Desmond has muddied the waters by absolutely filleting the outgoing manager. But you have to say that Kieran McKenna has a backstory and looks like, you know, if it was Robbie Keane, for example, it's a gamble. If it's Craig Bellamy, it's a gamble. And, you know, everyone wants the Bodo Glimt manager, but he still represents a gamble. I understand that they're all a gamble, but I think Kieran McKenna is less of a gamble. That's why he costs so much.
There are suggestions it would be a £5 million compensation package, which is massive in terms of managerial, and transfer fees don't relate to managers in the same way as players. Like £5 million in the grand scheme of things is quite astronomical when it comes to managerial fees. Like even down south, that would be considered a big fee.
Well, you know, you then have to, I think, weigh up whether it's worth paying, because the other candidates are too much of a gamble and this guy isn't.
2 goals between East Fife and Hamilton since in the last few minutes. East Fife took the lead and Ollie Shaw has equalised for Hamilton. Not a good time of it at the moment for Hamilton, but they are back level in that game.
I give John Rankin all the credit in the world. He's taken every blow possible. 15-point deduction last season, 6-point deduction this season, but he's not out of anything yet in that league, so they're fighting their corner.
It's got a bit quieter, I think, in the top flight matches. We had that flurry of goals earlier on, but not too much happening now. I think some of the teams won't mind that, though. The ones that are leading, St Johnstone, have a third against Airdrieonians, and it's Adamas Sidibe who has a hat-trick as well. A good afternoon for him. St Johnstone cruising on their way to 3 points.
Yeah, I thought that was the most straightforward game today.
St
Johnstone versus Airdrie.
I fancied Party big time. Spoke to Mark today. Very confident, bounce back. Good way of doing it, especially at home.
Hibs sort of in reasonable control at the moment against Livingston. They have made a change. Martin Boyle is off to be replaced by Josh Campbell.
Is that the Hibs that lost 3-0 to Motherwell in 1950 League Cup? Is that the Hibs you're talking about?
Someone's just googled it there.
I've not had my phone. Sid will tell you, my phone's lying there.
What, right next to you? You've just pointed to it. It's sitting right next to you.
I have not picked my phone up. And by the way, it was a terrific first goal from Forrest.
I'm standing beside him.
Telling us the goal scorers as well.
I've not caught him on his phone.
Thank you very much.
That's not to say
it's well known.
Simon, you've not caught him on that phone. That's the thing.
Right, okay.
That's the main thing. You've not caught him on the phone that he allows people to see. What about the other phone that could be somewhere else? You never know.
I think you should go into plural phones.
Magnuson with a half chance for Hearts. It was a flick by Lawrence Shanklin to set him up. It was a good shot saved low by John McCracken as East Kilbride get one back against Spartans. Could be game on there. Keir Foster, 15 minutes to go in that game.
I had to take the Nokia to my local newsagent yesterday to get it fixed.
How was your bike?
It just kept on saying
take a phone to the newsagents to get it fixed. That seems like a strange start to the story anyway. The only person that would go to a newsagent to get their phone fixed.
My phone is the subject of great humour in the newsagents, and Sati, who runs the shop, used to have one when he was a wee boy, he told me.
So he knows how to fix yours.
So he fixes mine,
What was he doing? What was the problem? He turned it on and off.
He took the back off it and cleaned the sim or something. I don't know.
He took the back off it and went, put it back on, and you went, oh, that's wonderful, 20 quid.
His missus cleaned the sim for me, and then they put the phone together for me. He said he wants 4 tickets for Old Trafford. He's a big Man U fan.
Can you get tickets for Old Trafford?
No, I just ignored them.
You just said yes so you could get your phone fixed, and you can worry about that later on. Arbroath have a third against Ross County. Taylor Stephen with the goal. That is a big result for Arbroath and a pretty devastating one for Ross County. We have one of these in the top flight.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
And it goes to Hearts. They've got a fourth against Dundee. It's Thomas Bent Magnuson, who was one of the substitutes, easy for me to say, that came on, and he's got himself on the score sheet. The 23-year-old Icelandic midfielder has scored. I think it was from a corner, headed in, and what a result this is going to be for the league leaders.
Yeah, again, they'll dominate the headlines. 9 points clear, a thumping victory, a happy full house at Tynecastle. Things just don't get much better than this. It's now up to Hearts to simply go on, show consistency. Dundee United next. Is it at Tynecastle?
Yeah, I think it's at home. So
and that takes you into the international break. Now, if you're 9 points or even better in the lead at the international break, you're having a good fortnight off.
It actually wasn't a header. It was Claudio Braga, I think, went up for the header at the front post. It then dropped to the feet of Magnuson, basically sort of edge of the 6-yard box. Managed to kind of bundle it home. Stuart Findlay got a touch, was trying to claim it on the line, over the line. Whoever it was that got the goal, it is 4-0 to Hearts. And for a team, Dundee, that have caused some of the bigger teams in our country problems this season, Dundee beating Celtic, drawing with Rangers at Ibrox, Hearts really demolishing them, taking them apart.
Well, people looked at the game against St Mirren and wondered, did you get away with one there? Is a point satisfactory?
Difficult to go there.
Yeah,
it's always a struggle at St Mirren. And I said at the start of the show, I think we all did, they might look back on it as a good point. We also spoke about, I certainly did, about them not blowing anybody away, but they've comprehensively did that to Dundee this afternoon. 10 minutes to go, they'll push on for a fifth.
The goal has been given. There was a VAR check, and I think Thomas Bent Magnuson would have been absolutely raging if the goal hadn't stood, because Stuart Findlay was on the line, must have been past the line, I'm guessing, by the time he touched it, tried to steal it, ran away and claimed it. There was then an offside check to see whether Stuart Findlay was offside, but whether Stuart Findlay was actually onside or whether it had already crossed the line, it is a goal for Hearts. It will stand. They have 4.
Well, it shows a nice bit of hunger. If they're all in there fighting to get a touch of the ball and put it over the line, there's nothing wrong with that. But it's a comprehensive win. It's a comprehensive lead they have at the top. The champions elect.
Yeah, it's all going well, isn't it? You've got to say that if you're a Hearts fan, you must be looking forward to your games. They're enjoying it, they're playing good football, scoring goals, everything at this moment in time rose in the garden for them.
Tynecastle Arms must be packed these days.
Yeah. It was one ground that I didn't like playing.
Did you?
I didn't.
Why not?
I didn't think I won.
Well, that doesn't help.
Yeah, it was a bit tight ground for me.
I liked it. Yeah. Quite hostile, fans on top. I enjoyed playing at Tynecastle.
Nah, it wasn't my favourite.
There was something that we found out in the office earlier on about Simon Donnelly when it comes to playing at stadiums or not playing at stadiums that I found quite incredible. You were talking about obviously Hampden, which is hosting the semi-finals. You were saying to us earlier on that you played 6 matches for Scotland on home soil, 6 caps at 6 different grounds, and never represented Scotland at Hampden.
That's true.
That's incredible.
It's a good question, isn't it? It's a good quiz question.
What were the 6 grounds then?
He's going to come in now and suggest that they're not real caps.
They're not. If you play with Scotland, you play at the National Stadium. That was a Mickey Mouse. He must have. You played one at Rugby Park, mate.
That was my debut.
Who's it against?
Wales.
What, in the Anglo? Was it Anglo?
I think it was just a friendly.
Am I right here, Hugh?
No.
What was it called?
No, it's just a friendly.
Wales, Scotland,
I know what you're talking
Ireland,
about.
and England.
The home nations kind of thing. Home nations.
But was it not called something before that? So you played, and did you win?
I think we did.
Nah.
God, I can't even remember.
So what were the 6 grounds that you represented Scotland at in Scotland?
Park, Celtic Park, Ibrox, Tynecastle, Easter Road,
Pittodrie,
and Pittodrie, where I made my only start against the Faroes.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
there you go. The Faroes, Pittodrie. Didn't the Dutchy part Motherwell? You'd have played that.
Simon, ask Gordon how many caps he's got.
I'm not going to go there.
Yeah, but I was up against good players.
I'm not going to go there.
Who was the manager of Scotland? Picked you?
Craig Brown.
Yeah, it says. Well, Craig was great. Yeah, okay. I'll give you that.
It is a good pub quiz question, I think. But not now that all the Clyde listeners have heard it.
Yeah.
That's all right. There'll be some. The people that have heard it now will be the ones asking the question.
You write it down and keep it, and hope for a pub quiz.
Wait till people have forgotten.
Yeah,
it'll end up being one of the teasers on this show at some point.
And I guarantee the Dazzler will get it wrong.
And
100%.
Probably me as well.
I'll have forgot about that by 6 o'clock tonight when Motherwell are 3-0 up.
Ooh. Right, the lay of the land in the Scottish Premiership, entering the final 5 minutes of most of the matches. It is Falkirk 3, Kilmarnock 1, 3-0 Falkirk were up at half time. Kilmarnock looked to have been the better side in the second half. Can they do anything late to try and get back into that game? Hearts 4-0 up against Dundee. They are sitting pretty at the top of the table, 9 points clear, and it is Livingston 1, Hibs 2. I do wonder though that there may be a goal coming in that game. I will keep you posted on that shortly. That is the one that there could be some late drama in, Hugh. We will get the answers to the full-time teaser, the second half teaser very shortly, but we'll stick with this just in case, because depending on what way it goes, it could be very tight into the last few minutes. But I think the ball was in the net, as has been the story in that game, but is not going to count. Kieran Bowie with a strike ruled to be offside.
When is that?
So it's not going to count. I think the ball has maybe been on the net in 5 occasions in that game where the goal hasn't counted, which is incredible.
So with Kieran Bowie now 1 goal in 12. Pity for him, because we started the day talking about how awful his record was, and he thought he'd turned a corner, and VAR has decided otherwise.
Right, let's wrap this up, Hugh, as Partick Thistle get a third against Queen's Park. 3-0 up, that game running behind because of an injury in the first half. A big stoppage. Logan Chalmers makes it 3 for Partick Thistle, and it will be 3 points for them. Right, Hugh, let's do this.
The second half teaser
with the scottishsun.co.uk/football for the best football news and opinion online.
I have played with Connor Salmon, Anton Ferdinand and Grant Hanley. I have been managed by Martin O'Neill and Mark Warburton. I played only 1 full season in Scotland and featured at an international tournament for my country. I am Daryl Murphy.
Well done to McNair72, who was third on the podium for this one. George Kirkland in second place, but Davy Fromm was fastest of the lot. Top of the podium, and he wins the Who Am I, the second half teaser. Daryl Murphy, the correct answer. What was your working?
I went down the manager's route. Obviously played with Warburton at Forest, Republic of Ireland internationalist, played with Celtic. So when you start putting things together, Andrew, it soon just hits you in the face. Daryl Murphy.
And not Philippe Senderos.
No, I was a bit unlucky with that one. I thought that was a good guess.
As in wrong?
Yeah, but a good wrong.
Still suspicious about how you came to that answer, but...
Well, this man sitting next to me knows that I have not been on my phone.
Not that one. I haven't spotted anything.
Yeah.
Stranraer 3, 4 for 1. Darren Lang getting a goal for Stranraer to wrap up the points, you'd think, in League 2. Heading into the final few moments of that game.
Play the music.
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang, Derek Lang.
Come we have
on,
that?
Andrew.
Nah, we don't have that. It's not.
Is he gone now? Is he?
It's not on the wall. We've got a Claudio Braga clip if he scores of his song, but nothing for Darren Lang anymore. I don't know whether that out of fashion now.
What would the fan song have been for you, Dazzler, if it was fashionable then?
Oh, I don't really know. I had a few songs.
Yeah,
I've got to say.
Were they DL Get To?
No, that was only my management career. My footballing career I'd done okay. The management career was the problem. What about you, Sid?
Nothing for me.
Gives an S,
really do.
gives an I, gives an M.
Simon.
Lawrence Shankland is off, and Elton Kabangu has come on.
Another man with an eye for goal, Kabangu. Yeah, as I say,
that does show the depth for Hearts that James Wilson not even getting on the bench. Was it 6 goals as a teenager last season? Still very much a teenager, only 18 years old, a Scotland cap, but struggling to get on the bench.
Has he left school yet?
I think he left in the summer, didn't he? Because he had that moment where he scored in there's a good story he actually told on Sky where he scored in the Edinburgh Derby, went back to school the following week, and the school janitor was speaking to him, obviously didn't know who he was, and said to him, did you watch the Edinburgh Derby at the weekend? And he went, I scored in it, yeah.
Brilliant.
It's got to be a great feeling, doesn't it?
Magnificent.
Well, a fourth for Partick Thistle, and it's Soanello Letsosa, who's been impressive for them. Came through Celtic's youth academy, went abroad, been signed by Partick Thistle in the summer. It's got under 21 Scotland call up this season as well. He's made it 4-0 to Partick Thistle over Queen's Park.
I would love it if Partick Thistle were top of the league on the day of Mark's wedding. To see the look in your face.
I wouldn't love that. That's not, but it couldn't be possible, is it?
Yeah, only 3 points in it.
Yeah, but goal difference wise, I think St Johnstone got better goal difference, have they?
Yeah, St Johnstone's goal difference, they've scored more and conceded.
Alright, joint top.
Yeah, wherever he is.
Still in a good position anyway, because
great day for them.
Yeah, it would put them, Arbroath and Wraith have both moved up in the table if they win their games today, but Partick Thistle would still be 6 points clear of Arbroath in third, so in a very good position. 4 minutes added at Tynecastle, so maybe a chance for Hearts to get a fifth, or for Dundee to try and get some sort of consolation goal. Hibs Livy is running a bit behind, I think. Probably about 5 minutes left to go in that game. A brilliant save by Raphael Salinger, who blocked a Tete Yengi shot with his right boot. So Livingston still trying to get back into that one.
But it'd be very impolite of Livy to score.
Is that because your Raka's up?
Yeah.
Have you got an Raka up, Hugh, have you?
I would put mine up, Hugh, so I'm looking for a Livy equaliser.
Well, at the moment I am in pole position.
I do wonder what that would do. You predicted on last night's show that Rangers will beat Celtic tomorrow. I wonder the psychology behind it, because Rangers fans hearing you predict them to win, given your history of predictions, wouldn't have been happy about that. But then if you get a 3 ACCA prediction right today, either do they think, all right, okay, maybe Hugh's turning a corner, or do they think, right, there's no chance he gets 2 in a row? Absolutely no chance he gets 2 in a row.
I stood in this studio a week ago. Cammy Bell, Dazzler, me. Dazzler went for a Celtic away win at Tynecastle. Cammy Bell went for a draw at Tynecastle, and I went for 3-0 Hearts. I was 1 goal out. I am the coming thing.
Yeah, that's true. I've got to verify that. Absolutely brilliant. 35 years in this round, he's now bragging about one goal he's missed it out.
35 is
it's more than that, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
55.
Is it, Hugh? 55?
Since I started in newspapers, 1970.
No, on this show. How long have you been on this show?
40 years.
40 years.
Some of them are good.
Yeah.
Right, where is the potential for late drama? I think it's probably only likely to be Livingston against Hibs. Are we going to get it? Are Livingston going to get something out of that game, or is it going to be 3 points for Hibs?
Well,
what do we think?
If Hibs get 3 points, it'd be funny to see Big Marvin here next week and to get an honest answer out of him on the subject of VAR and what have you. But I think Hibs will hold on.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you, Hugh, especially the way you're performing. So it's another disappointing day for Livingston. They need to start picking up points. But the good thing they've got, next week's fixture, Falkirk, the only team that Livingston can beat.
Wait that.
Falkirk. I know, dodgy one.
Doesn't look good.
There is actually no wonder that game is running behind the rest, just given how many stoppages there have been in VAR checks. There is another VAR check ongoing right now for a potential Livingston penalty. It's been checked for handball, and it could be late drama at the home of the Set Fair Arena that could break the heart of Hugh Keevins, and it could mean a correct prediction for Simon Donnelly if the penalty is given, which it looks like it could be, because referee Callum Scott is going to the monitor.
Is Jamie McGrath still on the pitch?
I'm not 100% sure. We will revisit that in a second. We have full time at Tynecastle first with Fraser Wishart.
Yeah, it's full time here. Hearts 4, Dundee 0. I think the fans will be saying pressure at the top of the league. What pressure? All very straightforward in the end, although it did take about 30 minutes for Hearts to get going. But in the end, this game could have been more than 4. They were 2 up at the break despite not being at their best. Dundee actually almost took a shot lead in 28 minutes. Right foot shot by Congreve, flicked off Devlin and hit the bar in the post, but that stung Hearts into action. 31 minutes, they scored their first real shot at goal. Harry Milne, outstanding all game, broke forward on the left hand side, squared to Shankland, one touch, left foot shot in off the left hand post. 2-0 in 38 minutes. Milne again involved, outswinging corner. McEntee jumped high, knocked the ball down with his head into the 6-yard box. Landry Kabore, if he's back to goal, took a touch and hooked the ball into the net. A real striker's goal. The part of the game continued for the whole of the second half. Shankland and Devlin with effort straight at McCracken. Landry Kabore should have got a shot away when he was clear, but he delayed and the chance was gone. But it was 3-0 in 58 minutes. A bit harsh on John McCracken. The big goalkeeper made a magnificent save for a Blair Spittle 16-yard shot. He tipped the ball onto the bar, but the ball bounced nicely to Landry Kabore, who fired the ball home. 62 minutes, Simon Murray did have the ball in the net for Dundee, but just to sum up their day, it was flagged for offside and confirmed by VAR. Landry Kabore fancied his hat-trick. A couple of occasions he broke into the box, didn't get the shots away when he should have passed. The striker was then replaced to loud applause. He's replaced by the fans' favourite Claudio Braga. With the game drifting, Dundee had a wee short spell of pressure, but then it was back to Hearts again. Lawrence Shankland, lovely flick to sub Thomas Magnuson in the box. Left foot shot was saved low at his post by McCracken. Kizaridis then with a free kick, it dipped dangerously, it was tipped over the bar by McCracken, and from that corner it was 4-0. Kizaridis swinging the ball into the back, into the front post. Braga tried to get a header on it, the ball bounced around. I think Magnuson got the final touch to the corner and bundled the ball home. Not pretty, but his first goal for Hearts, and he celebrated well in front of the Hearts fans. Braga then was denied a fifth in stoppage time. Another really good save by McCracken, who had a good day in goal for Dundee despite losing 4. Hearts have now played all 11 teams, 9 wins, 2 draws, top of the league by 9 points. I don't think even the most ardent Hearts supporter could have possibly wished for this at the start of the season. Happy days in Gorgie, full time, Hearts 4, Dundee 0.
Last we checked in at Livingston Hibs, it was a potential penalty check for Livingston. Referee Callum Scott went to the screen. He awarded a penalty, a handball by Nicky Cadden. Graham Carey steps up to take.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Top left corner, and it is Livingston 2, Hibs 2. Late drama, late heartbreak for Hugh Keevins, who had his ACCA up, but the opposite for Simon Donnelly. We're getting all 3 predictions correct as it stands.
As it stands, what do I win?
It's just bragging rights, really.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, nothing tangible.
I'll be texting that big in tonight. Tell him how jammy he is.
That is a big goal for Livingston, though.
Yeah.
It is still just a point, but when you're behind going into late in the game, to be able to get a goal like that is big.
And a big blow for Hibs, because they lose the chance to leapfrog Rangers and go third. They are on 15 points along with Rangers. So bad week for David Gray. Late penalty miss and another late penalty to deny him a win.
Let's go to the Falkirk Stadium. It's full time between Falkirk and Kilmarnock.
Yeah, no late drama here. Andrew. Falkirk 3, Kilmarnock 1. A really important victory for the Bairns. It lifts them to 5th place in the Premiership table tonight. Level on points with Rangers, but it condemns Kilmarnock to a 4th straight league defeat. They are now down in 10th at goal difference, and they didn't really deserve anything after a dreadful first half. A boss for the Bairns, Ethan Williams, opened the scoring after 7 minutes. A defence-splitting pass from man of the match Calvin Miller. Williams and round goalkeeper Toby Oluwayemi and rolled the ball into the net. It was initially disallowed for a linesman's flag, but the VAR official John Beaton had another look and told referee David Dickinson to give the goal. It was 2 after 22 minutes. A long range shot, this time by Carol Wilson, spilled by the Kilmarnock on loan goalie Oluwayemi straight out to Ross McIver, who finished with ease. He then limped off to be replaced by Brian Graham after 32 minutes, and just 6 minutes later Graham played a role in the 3rd goal for the home side. A little flick on for Williams down the left hand side. He fed the ball inside to Miller for a cute finish under Oluwayemi for 3-0. It could have been more before the break. It was so one-sided. Stuart Kettlewell's reaction: 3 changes at the break. One of the substitutes from an Arsenal kid, Tyrese John Jules, gave them a lifeline in 69 minutes with a smart turn and finish 6 yards out. They had 2 efforts disallowed as well. Robbie D's header was disallowed after a foul on Falkirk goalkeeper Scott Bain, and Bruce Anderson running onto a through ball from Scott Tiffany also found the net, only to be denied by a linesman's flag. In all honesty, Kilmarnock didn't deserve anything. Falkirk 3, Kilmarnock 1.
And it's full time between Livingston and Hibs. Lindsay Heron.
Full-time score, Andrew. Livingston 2, Hibs 2. What a fantastic point for Davy Martindale's side, who never gave up all afternoon to earn a precious point as they tried to get closer to Dundee and Aberdeen above them in the Premiership. Hibs looked as if they were going to be coasting to a very big win for them after losing in midweek to Rangers. Indeed, they would have moved 2 points clear of the Ibrox side had they hung on. But a last gasp penalty for the Lions gave them the draw. It was a handball in the box by Nicky Cadden. Callum Scott, the referee, was asked by the VAR Andrew Dallas to go and have a look at it on the screen. He decided it was deliberate handball. Graham Carey, who'd come on as a sub, stepped up to take it and slammed a left foot spot kick high into the top left corner. Great moment for the Livy fans, who felt as if their side definitely deserved it, especially after losing a goal inside 20 seconds. Jamie McGrath, a penalty sinner for Hibs during the week, scored a magnificent left foot strike high into the left corner, and it looked as if Hibs were going to take Livy apart in the early stages. But Livy came storming back. They had 2 goals disallowed. Stevie May had the ball in the net, then Steve Pittman had the ball in the net too, but Callum Scott had blown his whistle prior to that on both occasions, and it looks like he got both decisions correct. Hibs also had a goal disallowed when Rocky Bushiri knocked in the ball after Grant Henley's header was knocked into his path where he was clearly offside. However, Livy did get a leveller, 37 minutes on the clock. Nice ball into Bokila, Jeremy Bokila. He ran onto a pass from Steve Pittman and slotted a left foot shot into the left corner. Hibs looked a better outfit in the early moments of the second half. Martin Boyle missed a big chance 2 minutes in, shooting straight at the goalkeeper Jerome Prier, but he made no mistake in 51 minutes. Good play on the right from Chaiwa into Josh Mulligan. His pass was perfect for Boyle and he slammed home from 8 yards. Hoylett missed a really good chance for Hibs with a header when he should have scored. There was another chance for Kieran Bowie, but he put the ball in the net, but he was also offside. Again, a correct decision by the officials. Even then, it looked as though Hibs had done enough to claim all 3 points in this game. Then came the drama with the late penalty, and you have to say that Livy probably deserved it. Final score at Amon Vale, Livingston 2, Hibs 2.
What a day of action in the Scottish Premiership, and now it is over to you. 0141 951 1025. Maybe it is that top flight action that you want to talk about. Maybe you are a happy Hearts fan seeing your team 9 points clear at the top of the table, or potentially you want to look ahead to the Premier Sports Cup semi-finals. Motherwell against St Mirren at Hampden this evening, and the open line is your final chance to get your thoughts in ahead of Celtic taking on Rangers tomorrow. Martin O'Neill against Danny Rule at Hampden. How are you feeling? Who needs to play? Who doesn't? How are you feeling about the general state of play at your club? We will take your calls for the next hour. 0141 951 1025. We will speak to you next.
Owen built this business from scratch. Now it's all in the cloud. His ideas, his data, his future, which is fine. Until someone clicks on a link they shouldn't. BT Complete Cloud Secure protects your business online. It filters harmful sites and blocks malware from just £3.30 per user per month, keeping Owen's business data, well, Owen's. Cybersecurity is everyone's business. Search BT Business Cybersecurity. T's and C's apply. Prices exclude VAT at 20%. 12-month minimum term applies.
Save £520 on the Honor Magic V5 on EE.
520 quid?
Yeah, and you can get more done with Gemini across your favorite apps.
Can it summarize YouTube videos?
In an instant.
And share me notes with Alex?
All at the same time on its ultra-thin fold-out screen. Plus, get stay-connected data.
Nice.
Powerful AI deserves the UK's best network. Offer ends 24th November.
Savings across contract and device. Terms and credit check apply. Credit by EE Limited. Verify best network at ee.co.uk/claims.
With Betfred, when you bet £10, you get £50 in free bets. So, want to back your team to win the league, to win the cup, to win Europe? Want to feel like the home advantage is real? Want to call it before half-time? Want to believe that this season is ours? Want to bet £10 and get £50 in free bets? Want to bet? Betfred. New online customers only. 5 £10 free bets. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Save £788 on the epic Samsung Galaxy S25 on EE. Talk it out live with Gemini. Just point your camera and ask away.
Like how to make this pie vegan?
You betcha.
Or what colour paint will match my sofa?
In an instant.
Too easy.
Plus, you'll get stay-connected data because powerful AI deserves the UK's best network. Offer ends 24th November.
Savings across contract and device. Terms and credit check apply. Credit by EE Limited. Verify best network at ee.co.uk/claims.
Owen built this business from scratch. Now it's all in the cloud. His ideas, his data, his future. Which is fine. Until someone clicks on a link they shouldn't. BT Complete Cloud Secure protects your business online. It filters harmful sites and blocks malware from just £3.30 per user per month. Keeping Owen's business data, well, Owen's. Cybersecurity is everyone's business. Search BT Business Cybersecurity. T's and C's apply. Prices exclude VAT at 20%. 12-month minimum term applies.
You'll never forget seeing your kids on the slopes for the very first time.
I'm doing it, look, I'm doing it.
Get that feeling and so much more with Crystal Ski Holidays. With free child places and Crystal Childcare available, make magical memories together this winter. Choose from over 150 resorts and get everything sorted in one easy package. Find out more at crystalski.co.uk. APTA and Atoll protected.
After they play, you have your say. 0141 951 1025. Clyde One Super Scoreboard's open line.
Yeah, an interesting day in the Scottish Premiership. Hearts are now 9 points clear at the top of the table after a convincing 4-0 win at home to Dundee. Falkirk were rampant in the first half against Kilmarnock, coming away with a 3-1 win in that game, and late drama for Livingston, scoring a penalty right at the death, meaning they got a 2-2 draw against Hibs, and the action is only just starting because it's Premier Sports Cup weekend, and we want to hear from you. 0141 951 1025. Maybe you are a Motherwell or St Mirren fan on your way to the game right now and you want to talk about that match. Happy to hear from you. 0141 951 1025. And as I mentioned earlier, this is the final chance for you Celtic and Rangers fans to get your thoughts in ahead of that big match at Hampden tomorrow. Hugh, how do you reflect on what we've seen today and how do you look ahead to this evening and tomorrow?
Plenty of goals in the Premiership matches and therefore plenty of excitement and satisfaction. Hearts, it does not get any better than being 9 points clear at the top of the league, and looking forward to another home game next Saturday. They can go into the international break 9 points at least better off than the team directly beneath them. So good day for them. Marvin Bartley and Jamie Livingston getting that draw against Hibs to end my ACCA dream. But good for them. Isn't it funny? Hibs miss a penalty late in the game and cost themselves a point against Rangers midweek. Livy get a late penalty against Hibs and cost Hibs another 2 points. So it's been a bad week for David Gray. And speaking of bad weeks, Stuart Kettlewell, Kilmarnock, 3-1 defeat, their fourth defeat in a row. The storm clouds are gathering at Rugby Park.
I think Hearts fans will be quite happy that there is a lot of attention elsewhere this weekend where they can go about their business with a very convincing win and put themselves 9 points clear, having played one game more than Celtic.
Yeah, I think if you're a Jambo just now, you're in a great place. You're enjoying supporting your team, going along there. 9 points at the top of the league, playing good football, scoring goals comfortably. Today, you look at the squad, you look at the substitutions are coming on. They're really, really going very well. Home game against Dundee United next week again. You'd imagine it will be difficult, but the way they're going about their business, look, they're right up there. I know it's early, we don't want to get carried away. Hugh's already put them down as the champions, but they are certainly up there contenders.
And I'm sure many on the phones this evening will be looking ahead to what is a massive game at Hampden this evening, but also tomorrow, Simon, between Celtic and Rangers, Martin O'Neill and Danny Rowell.
Yeah, listen, a few days ago you would never have ever guessed that manager, certainly Martin O'Neill, up against Rowell for the semi-final. It's a big game for both teams, could really inject life into their season, whoever comes out on top. Big game tonight, and after my three predictions being correct, Andrew, St Mirren fans will not be happy that I'm going for Motherwell.
Jamie Donnelly.
Right, let's check in at Hampden, shall we, with David Friel. He can give us a recap of the teams and a bit of flavour of what's to come at Hampden.
Yeah, it's starting to fill up here, Andrew, and what's good about it is that the tickets have been sold in the North Stand, so there's no fans behind the goal, so it's going to feel a lot fuller than it is. As I said, the fans are coming in. I think they're all looking forward to this game, and they'll be looking at the team, and I think the Motherwell team's certainly more eye-catching than St Mirren, because James Bertolascu's made some big calls here, and I think the biggest of the lot is Stephen Welsh dropping onto the bench and Liam Gordon coming in. I think Stephen Welsh, since he came in from Celtic and loan, has been excellent for Motherwell, very good in the ball, and obviously the way Motherwell want to play has been integral to that really. But Liam Gordon's come in, I'm assuming for height, against St Mirren, so it'll be interesting to see that one. And I don't know what Daz thinks of this as well, but Callum Slattery dropping out again. I think he's such an influential player for Motherwell when fit, but he's dropped to the bench as well after playing in midweek. So Motherwell are going to line up Callum Ward in goals, back four Johnny Katrumbas, Paul McGinn, Liam Gordon and Emmanuel Longello, Lucas Fadinga, Elliot Watt, Tomander Wasp-Manisi, Elijah Just and Ibrahim Said in behind Apostolos Stamatolopoulos. As for St Mirren, Alec Gogic back from suspension, Jayden Richardson back from suspension, both straight in. Shamal George in goals, Marcus Fraser, Alec Gogic and Miguel Freckleton at the back, Richardson, Keanu Bacchus, Mark O'Hara, Killian Phillips and Declan John across the middle, with Daniel Lindulu and Mikel Manjon up front. It's a very, very evenly matched game. Motherwell are ahead of St Mirren in the league. They do have a better record in recent times against them, but you would imagine Stephen Robinson against his former club will have his team fired up to go and make that final next month. It's going to be a cracker. Kick off at 5:30.
Yeah, a huge game, massive for the players, massive for the managers, and for the supporters as well, because it is the type of thing, if Motherwell or St Mirren, whoever it is, get through to the final, what it does for the town, just for the general feeling around the place.
Puts the price of my house up.
I don't think you can make a prediction. You hazard a guess. They're so evenly matched. It's not a prediction. My guess is Motherwell will win, but I'm not predicting that to happen. I'm guessing.
I'm interested there listening to David Friel at Hampden. The Motherwell manager's made big decisions here, because Liam Gordon, Stephen Welsh has been very, very good for Motherwell. Slattery is one of the top players. He's brilliant. Maybe it's just the lad's had a few injuries lately. Maybe with the fact of the game the other night, he's maybe just looking for him to come on and make an impact, which he certainly can. And Liam Gordon, I think David's bang on the money. If St Mirren have got a threat, it's from an aerial threat, and I think Liam Gordon just nips that position because of that.
What would it do for the managers as well? Because Stephen Robinson is so well liked at St Mirren already. They've been such a success under him. They've had 3 back-to-back top 6 finishes. Maybe the one thing that they've been missing is a cup run in his time there. Then Jens Bertolascu, still in his infancy as Motherwell manager, but so much positivity around what he's doing and the way they're trying to play football. That would just be further accelerated, wouldn't it, if he managed to get them to cup
Let me just clarify something. Stephen Robinson's well liked at Motherwell for the job that he done at Motherwell. The Motherwell fans still like the manager, and if he ever had to come back, I think they'd be over the moon with that. I just think that it's such a tight game tonight. I don't know how to call it, because you're looking at a team that will go and play football. St Mirren can play football. Let's not kid ourselves on here. You know, let's not just say they're a team that lumps the ball forward. They've got good players in certain areas. I think it'll be a very, very good game here.
01419511025. Let's hear from you. Remember, the open line you can view on social media on the live stream as well, so you can switch that on if you want to see the faces of Hugh Keevins, Simon Donnelly and Gordon Dalziel. Hopefully that doesn't put you off at all. Let's speak to Tam and Callum, St Mirren fans. Are you at the ground, guys?
Yes, we're here. We're in the ground and we're quietly confident after the media praising Motherwell's silky football. Come on, the Hannah Thrones.
What is it about that gives you confidence? Stephen Robinson has obviously done such a good job at St Mirren. We were saying there that a cup run is maybe the one thing that's been missing so far. Is this a real special feeling to be at Hampden for this game?
Yeah, you're probably right now. The cup run's the one thing missing, but I mean, 10 passes don't score you a goal, but put the ball in the back of the net does. So fingers crossed. I'd hope for a 75% possession. Motherwell 1-0. Happy with that.
I'm liking the digs. I mean, a lot is obviously said about Motherwell's style of play and St Mirren's style of play. Stephen Robinson would refute some of it. Certainly, they've been. Was it Chris Sutton called them a long ball team earlier on this season that people, and he said he wouldn't pay to watch them, which I think some St Mirren fans weren't happy about. It will be to some extent a clash of styles, but a clash of two what have proven to be successful styles in the time that we've seen them.
I think we've had a good week, the pair of them. For St Mirren to be as effective as they were against Hearts, who are the league leaders after all, and get a point, might have been all three. For Motherwell to wipe the floor with Dundee United, basically. So Tam and Callum can get in all the digs. They're perfectly entitled to that, and we'll just see what happens at 7 o'clock.
But that shows you a semi-final, right? The St Mirren fans there are saying, look, Motherwell can have all the possession in the world, long as we won 1-0. The most important thing for those two teams tonight, it's a great chance. One of them obviously is going to get to the final, and that's why it makes it such an interesting game. Usually you go up in a semi-final against a Celtic or Rangers, you get in there with maybe a 25% chance. Maybe sometimes less than that, depends how the big two are playing. But tonight, 50-50 evens.
Yeah, I would say the same as well. I mean, I've watched both teams take Celtic to the last few minutes at Celtic Park in different styles. Motherwell were very pleasing on the eye, but it was their own downfall that allowed Celtic back into the game that day, maybe overplaying it at the wrong time. And then you see St Mirren should have won against Hearts during the week, who are top of the table by 9 points tonight. So different styles, and that's what I say makes it really interesting and hard to predict.
Just thinking, Simon, back to Danny Lennon winning the League Cup with St Mirren against Hearts. It was a fantastic final, and the stories of the celebrations in Paisley that night, the day after, and possibly the day after that as well. That's what you were talking about earlier, Andrew, the effect that a trophy win has on places like Motherwell and Paisley. So I wish both of them every success. Unfortunately, one gets the final and the other gets disappointment.
Tam, Callum, have you allowed yourself to dream of those celebrations?
Oh, absolutely. I'll be honest, I can't really hear you, but Gordon, I really like you, but I really hope you're upset at full time.
All right, but okay.
In the nicest way possible.
Yes, and I wish you all the best. Unlucky you're not getting to final. Bye.
You heard that bit.
Well, thank you to Tam and Callum. Enjoy the game. 0141 951 1025. Maybe you want to get your thoughts in. Still ahead of that game, not long to go until kick-off. Maybe you want to preview that big one tomorrow between Celtic and Rangers. Want to hear your thoughts on that, or maybe you want to reflect on today's action. 0141 951 1025. That's what Stephen wants to do, who's a Kilmarnock fan. Stephen, was that a tough first half to sit through today?
I would say so. Like, I wasn't at the ground, I was watching it from home. But we need to stop facing challenging on. Like, we need to work on it at training, because the last 3 games,
it's a bit of a dodgy line there. We'll see if we can clear that up. I mean, it is now 4 defeats in a row for Kilmarnock, which Stuart Kettlewell will be a bit concerned that things have started to turn quickly after what seemed to be a decent start to the season.
Stephen's taken a look at the game and he's thought they should be doing more in training to do more of this and less of that, and so on and so forth. The fans now start to scrutinise very carefully and start to find faults in everyone, starting with the manager. That's the normal run of events. So 4 defeats in a row, goals aplenty being lost. Their next game at Celtic Park a week tomorrow, they couldn't be confident about that from this distance. And if it were to go 5 defeats in a row and then the international break, it's a long time to fester.
Stephen, I think we've got you back. How are you feeling?
No, maybe not.
Don't think we've got him back. Anyway,
yeah, but Stephen will not be alone as a Kilmarnock fan. You'll be a bit concerned, but you're looking at that league table, it's very, very tight. Kilmarnock are, like most of those teams, they're capable of going 2-3 games and picking up results, and the rest of the teams are capable of going 2 or 3 games and losing games. That's how tight it is. But you just don't want to be going away to Falkirk, who's just come up newly promoted, and really getting turned over. That'd be disappointing for them.
Great for Falkirk though.
Yeah, brilliant for Falkirk. We touched on it earlier in the show how they've had a great start to the season. That says you're looking at the league. There's not much between a lot of the teams. Kilmarnock are on a bad run, and rather than, I mean, Stephen suggesting what they're doing and not doing in training, I'd probably just say their confidence is low at the moment, and they need to try and get out of that as quick as possible. Celtic Park next week's not the ideal one to go into that on the back of 4 defeats, but it's not as if they're languishing, points behind.
Well, Livy are bottom. They're on 7 points. Killie have got 10. So the pessimistic way of looking at it is they're 3 points off the bottom, and a long run of defeats like that has to be arrested. You have to find a way of being more optimistic, but at the moment it looks like a hard shift for Kilmarnock.
Yeah, and they're 5 points off third.
Well,
it shows you how tight that league is. Look, that league's going to go up and down every single week. Couple of results, and teams drop down. They're Falkirk now into fifth, into that position. Absolutely brilliant for them. Yeah. Can they maintain that? They're doing absolutely brilliantly, but a lot of results still to go.
01419511025 on the phone. Still plenty of time to get your calls in before 6 o'clock on the open line. Let's look ahead to tomorrow's match between Celtic and Rangers, shall we? Gordon is on the line. Gordon, how are you feeling ahead of that game?
I'm feeling confident. I think we'll beat Rangers tomorrow.
What gives you the confidence? Obviously a lot of turmoil this week, but a big result midweek under Martin O'Neill. Do you feel he's the right man to get Celtic the result tomorrow?
I think the attacking football we're playing for Celtic has just been so much better since we've got Martin O'Neill in.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We'll get Gordon to turn off his radio or his live stream in the background so we just don't get the feedback. But it'll be interesting to see if that change stylistically for you, Simon. You were at the game on Wednesday night. Was it a clear difference? Was there what was it? Were they more on the front foot? Was it a case of having more freedom?
There was a slight change. I'm not going to get carried away and say the new management team have come in and 2 days later it's totally different, but there was early on in the game they were trying to play the ball in, trying to turn Falkirk quite directly. The quality wasn't there, but once they get into their stride, I thought they put a lot more pressure on the back line with crosses into the box, playing things into channels. It was a bit different. It was a little bit different, and I think the fans, as Hugh touched on there was a good feeling about it. To say there's been wholesale changes, that is not what I'm saying, because it's the same players. And they're going to have to go out tomorrow and find a way to beat Rangers. And the form hasn't been great. But on that initial 90 minutes, there was little changes.
The performances against Dundee away and Hearts away were abject. They were absolutely awful. And that's why Gordon and other Celtic fans were so delighted with the old, fast, free-flowing, goal-scoring Celtic against Falkirk in midweek. Falkirk's one thing, Rangers in a cup semi-final is another thing altogether.
The only thing I'd say in that is I think both teams have got the new sort of manager's bounce, if you know what I mean. I know what Hugh's saying, you would expect Celtic to beat Falkirk, but the way they'd been playing and the style of football they'd been playing lately under Brendan, Celtic fans weren't, turned off. You look at the other side of the city, Rangers looked very well organised at Easter Road. Difficult game for them. Went there and won it. Two of them getting in a far, far better place tomorrow than they were last week.
Scott is a Celtic fan in Barmulloch. Scott, are you feeling confident going into that game tomorrow?
Not as confident as I'd like to be. It's a derby game. We all know you can go through the ridiculous for 6-2 to Celtic, to 5-1 to Rangers and Martin O'Neill's first tenure. So you just don't know where the games. I was on here. I come on to the show on Sunday after the Hearts game. I was through at Tynecastle, and I come on and I said I was thoroughly disgusted by the way that the team played. Certainly the manager's tactics of we'll get beat 3-1 with 25 minutes to go. They change the formation. Let's have a go at it. Something that was always something that you could say about a Celtic team. And you'd managers that would take somebody off at the back and go to 2 men up front and stuff like that. And so it really disgusted me. I was never so glad when I heard they went on Monday night. I was never so glad. The football's been terrible for months now. And it's just basically about who the new manager's going to be. My only concern, the boy from Bodo Glimt, certainly, he's got a good record.
but he's done nothing outside his country. We played Bruges earlier in the season. I thought Bruges were probably one of the best European teams I've seen at Celtic Park in the way they played. So if we were going to go for anybody, don't know, maybe the Bruges manager would have been one I would go for. But I'm just concerned that the Bodo Glimt guy's not really got a lot of experience. He's only really managed in that country. He's only really managed one team. So it's a bit an ass to come to another country. But if he was going to have somebody beside him, like sort of a second man, I would have put Scott Brown in there.
Well, first of all, let's deal with the Rangers game. Celtic's problem is that they've forgotten how to beat Rangers. Brendan Rodgers did not beat Philippe Clement over the course of the last year. Did not beat Philippe Clement, did not beat Barry Ferguson, did not beat Russell Martin. So Celtic have lost their way in games against Rangers. And a Rangers side that people were laughing at, and Celtic still couldn't beat them. So it's a big task for them tomorrow, because Danny Rowe, on the space of a week, has won league games back-to-back, kept a clean sheet away from home for the first time in a year, and will present Celtic with an even harder proposition tomorrow. With regard to the manager, I think the manager of Bodo Glimt, successful though he may have been in Europe, is a gamble. Would be a gamble were he to be appointed.
He's also been offered quite big jobs in the past and turned them down. There's suggestions that he's just got a very cushy deal at Bodo Glimt, also, that he's not planning on moving anywhere. With regard to the manager of Club Brugge, I know that Club Brugge taking 9 goals off Rangers in a European tie home and away means that he has an affectionate place in the Celtic fans' hearts, but I think he'd be a gamble as well. And I think who's not a gamble then?
I don't think Kieran McKenna's a gamble.
He's not a gamble.
I disagree with you. I think I know what you're saying, Hugh. You've got your favourite. You look at the lad from Bruges, Club Brugge, right? Is Celtic that big an attraction for? They're playing Champions League every year. You know what I mean? They're a terrific footballing side as well. Done a brilliant job there. I know what Hugh's saying. You've got your favourite there. You're thinking, right, okay, it's a less gamble, I think Hugh's trying to say, and I totally agree with them. But every manager that comes in, no matter what club, player as well, it's always a slight gamble.
Yeah, always is, especially the size of the job and everything that comes with it at Celtic. I mean, I went on record saying the last time when it was leaning towards Brendan coming back, I described it as a safe decision. And what I meant by that was because he'd been there before and he'd been so successful. I wasn't overly concerned about it. He knew the job. Somebody new coming in, it's going to be totally new. And it's always a little bit of a gamble.
Well, thank you to Scott. 0141 951 1025. We'll take more of your calls next.
Private healthcare sounds pricey. At Benenden Health, it's less than £16 per person per month. Just for GP calls? For a 24/7 GP helpline, physio, diagnostics and more. Now, tell me. All about my medical history? No medical questionnaires or hidden charges. We like to call it healthcare done different. Spot on. Benenden Health. Healthcare done different. Fee review periodically. 6-month wait for some services. T&Cs apply. Selected surgical procedures after 6 months. 24 in Northern Ireland. UK only. Visit benenden.co.uk.
Owen built this business from scratch. Now it's all in the cloud. His ideas, his data, his future. Which is fine. Until someone clicks on a link they shouldn't. BT Complete Cloud Secure protects your business online. It filters harmful sites and blocks malware from just £3.30 per user per month. Keeping Owen's business data, well, Owen's. Cybersecurity is everyone's business. Search BT Business Cybersecurity. T's and C's apply. Prices exclude VAT at 20%. 12-month minimum term applies.
Save £520 on the Honor Magic V5 on EE.
520 quid?
Yeah, and you can get more done with Gemini across your favorite apps.
Can it summarise YouTube videos?
In an instant.
And share me notes with Alex?
All at the same time on its ultra-thin fold-out screen. Plus, get stay-connected data.
Nice.
Powerful AI deserves the UK's best network. Offer ends 24th November.
Savings across contract and device. Terms and credit check apply. Credit by EE Limited. Verify best network at ee.co.uk/claims.
You'll never forget seeing your kids on the slopes for the very first time.
I'm doing it. Look, I'm doing it.
Get that feeling and so much more with Crystal Ski Holidays. With free child places and Crystal Childcare available, make magical memories together this winter. Choose from over 150 resorts and get everything sorted in one easy package. Find out more at crystalski.co.uk. APTA and Atoll protected.
This season, I want to feel it from the start, from the whistle, from the first touch. Want to beat the odds, want to take an early lead, want to see why he costs so much money, want to shout pen before the ref is even called in, want to see the call go our way for once. I want to hear their lot go quiet, want to see them leave early, want to drop into the group chat to tell them I've seen the future, want to hear them agree, and if not I'll say, want to bet? Bet Fred. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
You can't do much in under 5 minutes. Boil an egg? Sure. Cook a roast dinner? No chance. But comparing car insurance prices with mustard.co.uk? Easy. See what you could save in just a few minutes. Click mustard.co.uk. Authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. See website for details.
Ever wondered what power is? Power is transforming the sun into your own energy source. Power is getting energy companies to pay you. Power is enjoying your morning coffee, knowing you created the energy to make it. Well, you and the colossal ball of fire in the sky. Because with solar panels from Hive, the sun works for you. Hive, know your power. May not cover all electricity usage, roof and weather dependent. Paid for surplus requires eligible SCG tariff.
A Rayo original podcast.
Hiya, it's Gemma Atkinson. And you know what they say? You should never work with animals, kids, or your Spanish partner of almost 8 years.
8 happy years.
Oh, yeah. Join me and Gorka on our brand new podcast, Lost in Translation, where we lift the lid on family life and our perfectly imperfect relationship.
Listen to Lost in Translation now.
On the Rayo app, Apple, Amazon, Music, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
The games are over. The talking begins. 0141 951 1025. Clyde One Super Scoreboard's open line.
A big weekend in Scottish football, and we want to hear from you all the way through until 6 o'clock. 0141 951 1025. Hearts have moved 9 points clear at the top of the Premiership, and now attention is turning to the Premier Sports Cup semi-finals. Tomorrow it's Celtic against Rangers, and we want to hear your thoughts ahead of that. This is your final chance to get your thoughts in on Clyde One Super Scoreboard before that game, so give us a call. 0141 951 1025. And it's just about to kick off between Motherwell and St Mirren at Hampden. The teams are in the tunnel. David Freo can give us the final bit of build-up from Hampden.
Teams in the tunnel, Andrew, and the fans are in their seats too. Really impressive tifos across in the North Stand. The St Mirren fans, they're saying it's All Saints Day, and then 70 yards up the other stand. Hard times come and go, but moments like these last forever. That's the Motherwell tifo with a nod to the 1991 Scottish Cup final win. The fireworks are on now as well. Paul McGinn and Mark O'Hara, they will lead their teams onto the pitch just shortly. And what a massive, massive game this is. A chance to book a place in next month's Premier Sports Cup final. St Mirren, they last won this competition in 2013. Motherwell, they last won this competition back in 1950, 75 years ago. They've still got another step to go after this one, but it's all there for them today, all there for both teams. I'll just run through the teams. Motherwell going to be Ward, Katrumbis, McGinn, Gordon, Longello, Fadinger, Watt, Masronisi, Just, Said and Stamatolopoulos. St Mirren will be Shamal George in goals, back three of Fraser, Gogic, Feckleton, Richardson, Bacchus, O'Hara, Phillips and John. Lundula and Mandron will be up front. Atmosphere really building here, a crowd of just under 20,000. The tifos are impressive. The players are well up for this, as you can see. Kick off very shortly.
Yeah, looking forward to that one. Simon Donnelly has already reckoned it's going to be a win for Motherwell. What about you, Hugh?
Motherwell.
Full house?
Yeah, full house. Can't go against my home team.
Interesting. We'll see how that plays out. Remember, we'll get all the reaction to that on tomorrow's show. We are on from 1 until 5, and it will be, of course, Celtic against Rangers. We'll be bringing you the action from that game. Looks good at Hampden. The tifos, the fans in that stand across from where the TV cameras are, so it looks packed out on the face of things. It's obviously not, but that's what's going to happen when two teams from towns like Motherwell and Paisley, the fans will come in as many numbers as they possibly can.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't criticise the size of the crowd. When it gets to the final, you can rely on it that there will be a full Hampden Park. I again repeat, the Motherwell or St Mirren rather, beating Hearts with Danny Lennon as the manager. It was a wonderful final, wonderful celebrations, wonderful for Paisley. So one of them is going to have a heck of a time in December. So good luck to the pair of them. As I say, I'm not predicting Motherwell. I'm guessing Motherwell because it's that close.
I totally agree with that. And see, even tomorrow, I'll be guessing my team that's going to win and go through at the final with Celtic and Rangers. I think the two games can go either way. They're that close.
We'll keep you updated if there are any goals in the opening half an hour or so at Hampden, and you can still get your calls in 0141 951 1025. Let's speak to Robert, who is a Kilmarnock fan. Robert, 3-1 defeat to Falkirk. How are you feeling after that?
Hi guys, hope you're having a good weekend, because I most certainly am not. This is awful. It truly is. I mean, we cannot accept getting defeats happen, but it's the way we're capitulating. It is truly dreadful. The team is not organised. We've got a big guy at 6'7" who can jump. I've seen Wales jump higher than him. How can he no jump? It's just awful. It's truly awful. We have no midfield. Our defence is absolutely all over the place. And how we went from being so good at the start of the season to this is absolutely staggering. I didn't like Kettlewell in, I'll be honest. I phoned up and told you when he was appointed that I didn't think he was a very good manager. But you know what? I gave him the benefit of the doubt. Do you know what? That's now evaporated into thin air. He needs to go. He needs to go now.
Already, Robert, despite the fact that you say that it'd been a positive start to the season, people had maybe started to change their mind, that weren't sold on Stuart Kettlewell. Today's the final straw for you. You feel that even at this point in the season, there's no way back.
I've been a Kilmarnock supporter since the early 70s, and this is like watching Alec Dyer's team when we get relegated. It truly is. It's the same thing. Lack of organisation, lack of clear direction and who's doing what. And we've got some players that are really decent, but there's a lot of that team that just don't seem to be doing it. I don't know why he continually played Polworth. I see he was dropped today, thankfully, but it made no difference. Because the guys they brought in aren't good enough either, and they're his signings. I'm sorry, but he needs to go.
What's changed, Robert, from the early stages in the season to now? Can you put your finger on it?
We don't seem to have a team ethos. We don't seem to have a clear understanding of what player is doing what job, and they just seem to be kind of doing the best that they can in a system that none of them are really suited in. We don't seem to be playing any type of proper formation. 1 week's a back three, 1 week's a back four, and then it's a back five. There's just doesn't seem to be anything settled, and it's shown that they just don't know what they're doing. They're running about like headless chickens. I mean, we Watson's a cracking player, but he can't do everything. I've watched him the past couple of games. He's literally run his heart out. He seems to be trying to cover for everybody else, and we guy can't do that. He's out of contract in the summer. He's not signed a new contract, and you can see why. You can see why he's not signed a contract.
I couldn't contradict the word that Robert has said, because he's the Kelly fan. He's watched him for decades, and he can make comparisons with the past as he has done. There always comes that watershed moment, and we spoke about it earlier on. When do the fans turn on Stuart Kettlewell? So he's gone 4 losses in a row. Robert detects nothing but negativity, and is certain, the only thing he is certain of is that he wants another manager. Now, Stuart Kettlewell, like all managers, is simply going to have to live with that kind of pressure, because fans reach a breaking point, and today has been the breaking point for Robert, and it will be for others.
Because it's 4 defeats in a row. You look at the 3 defeats before today, a 3-0 defeat to Hearts, who at present are the best team in the division. Then a 3-1 defeat to Rangers at Ibrox. That can happen. A 1-0 defeat to Aberdeen. It's then going 3-0 down in a first half against Falkirk. That you can see why there is that big frustration, especially after today, from Robert.
Yeah, I think Robert's right. At the beginning of the season, I think they looked okay. People were on this phone in saying that Kettlewell was doing a good job. Then all of a sudden, I watched them against Rangers, and I thought dreadful. I'm not taking it, but I just think Rangers cruised it. I thought the confidence in taking the ball. I thought the goalkeeper was really poor on the day as well. Didn't help. 4 defeats, and all of a sudden, it's just a new way of football now. 3-4 defeats. Fans are on, want rid of the manager, want a new manager in. It's incredible now. It really is. I'm not saying it's the right or the wrong call, but what I'm saying is that Stuart Kettlewell needs to start picking up points and performances, but all of a sudden they get into next week and they'll get Celtic at Celtic Park.
In an era where the manager of Rangers lasts 17 games and then gets the sack, that, as Gordon describes it, is the modern way. So Stuart Kettlewell is a seasoned professional player, manager, and they'll understand that 4 defeats in a row, hemorrhaging goals, this is what happens. So it's up to Stuart Kettlewell now, if he can, to turn this around.
Well, thank you to Robert. There was a bit of a penalty shout for Motherwell. The ball, Elijah Just with a shot in the box, wasn't it? Came off of the definitely came off the arm. Did not have Kieran O'Bacchus, but it was
off somebody else,
and it was also off his elbow while his elbow was tucked into his body. You're never gonna get those. So it's still goalless.
Motherwell claimed for it, but when we see it on the replay, it's popped up, and as you say, hit him in the elbow. But quite an open game to start with.
But you can certainly tell that St Mirren are trying to close Motherwell down as quickly as possible and stop them.
The passing game.
That passing game. Yeah, I totally agree.
0141951 1025. Michael is a Celtic fan in Clydebank. Michael, what is on your mind? Is it the game tomorrow? Is it the managerial hunt?
Yes, both. Alright guys, how are you doing anyway?
Good,
Michael.
Aye, good. Hugh, Gordon, where's wrong with you two?
We're fine. What's up?
We're talking about Martin O'Neill. Martin O'Neill tomorrow. This game is a foregone conclusion. We're talking about 5 years. 5 years he dominated Rangers, and that much into the bargain they had to cheat. They had to go and overspend.
Martin O'Neill's not playing tomorrow.
Martin O'Neill.
There is no such thing in the old firm world as a foregone conclusion. Martin O'Neill's first game was 6-2 for Celtic against Rangers. His next derby game was 5-1 for Rangers. So there's no such thing as Martin O'Neill guarantees you automatic victory tomorrow. He has certainly breathed new life into you and other Celtic supporters who were getting bored with Brendan Rodgers' style of football. But let me reassure you, there is no such thing as a foregone conclusion.
Despite the fact that the experiences that Martin O'Neill had in games between Celtic and Rangers being 20 to 25 years ago, Michael, do you feel it is still all relevant today going into this game tomorrow?
Martin O'Neill in these games, in comparison to the Rangers manager, it will count for a lot. You go back to the 5 years when he was there, he always dominated Rangers in every game, even the ones when we did get beat, apart from the 5-1 game.
But listen,
we were always in.
Can I say this to you, Michael? Michael, how old are you?
39.
Right, so when Martin came, you were 14.
14, aye.
Martin's number.
Got Martin O'Neill a job. Actually, I was one of the ones who got Martin O'Neill a job.
Oh, right.
We get John Barnes out that night after Inverness.
Right.
So I take.
You get Brendan out on Monday as well.
You probably
started the modern day Celtic.
But anyway, the number one advantage that Martin O'Neill had, he had Henrik Larsson. There's no Henrik Larsson or anything like him now. And I have to agree with what Andrew has said. What happened 25 years ago when Martin came, and he was stunning as Celtic manager, stunning. But what happened 25 years ago has absolutely no relevance at all tomorrow.
But then to present the other side of it, Martin O'Neill does know the emotion of these fixtures. Sean Maloney knows the emotion of these fixtures. They maybe know the characters, the type of characters that can deal with these occasions. Danny Rule is new into Scotland, new into Scottish football. Could that still be an advantage they've got over him, that they know the lay of the land more than...
I agree with what Hugh said. Martin O'Neill was a brilliant manager. As I said, I went up against him in the semi-final. But when you look at the quality of player he had at his disposal then, he's certainly nowhere near that going into this game tomorrow. The one thing I'll say about him, I think he's a brilliant manager. I like listening to him. I think he knows the game inside out. Doesn't matter if you've been out it for so long. He's got Sean Maloney there, who helped coach Belgium as well. And then you've got the other side of the city. I think the new Rangers manager, for me, is doing very well. I just think it's a fascinating game.
I think speaking to ex-players that played under Martin, they describe it as he had the magic in the dressing room on match days. His coaches obviously did a lot of the coaching during the week, and this is where he came into his fore. He will need to do that again tomorrow. I think he got some sort of tune out the team on Wednesday, and I don't think it will work against Celtic, the fact that he's got that experience, but it's different players. And whilst I admire Michael's confidence, I wouldn't say it's a foregone conclusion. I hope I'm wrong, but it will help having him there.
The big news is that tension has boiled over in the studio, and if Rangers win, Simon has to get me a decent bottle of red wine, and if Celtic win, I have to give Simon a decent bottle of red wine. That's the real big story.
And I'm the witness, because I'm sitting on the fence.
He's put it out there. He's put it live.
And please bet and drink responsibly for all those out there. Michael, just finally, who should get the job permanently for you?
Martin O'Neill. No, I think Martin will get the job if we win tomorrow.
You think he will get it? The way he's talked about the job, he doesn't really see it as a long-term thing. He keeps on reiterating that it's short-term.
Andrew, we're talking about a very shrewd man here. That's to take the pressure off. He wants that job, believe me. He wants that job. He'll be the manager. I'll come back on.
Yeah, and if he doesn't do well, you'll get him out.
It'll be Martin O'Neill will be the manager, and we'll give him for another 2 years.
Oh, catch yourself.
Not having it?
No, not at all. Not at all. Listen, I know what he's saying, and if he wins tomorrow, we will be inundated with phone calls from Celtic fans saying, look, give it to Martin and give it to him to the end of the season, whatever. I listen to Martin O'Neill. I think Martin O'Neill's in for the short term.
Well, thank you to Michael. 0141 951 1025. We'll take more of your calls next. It's still goalless between Motherwell and St Mirren. A few set pieces being flung into the St Mirren box by Motherwell, so maybe not going the way that people expected. A couple of corners, a deep free kick that Apostolos Stamatolopoulos headed over, but no goals in the opening 10 minutes. We'll let you know if anything's happened after this break.
The action is your reaction. 0141 951 1025. Clyde One Super Scoreboard's open line.
Into the final part of the open line on Clyde One Super Scoreboard. You can still get your calls in 0141 951 1025. We are keeping you up to date on what is happening between Motherwell and St Mirren at Hampden. 14 minutes on the clock. No real saves to be made by either goalkeeper in this one so far, but we'll let you know if anything happens before 6 o'clock. And continuing to take your calls 0141 951 1025. William is a Rangers fan in Stevenston. William, how are you feeling about the game tomorrow?
Yeah, hello, Andrew, the whole panel, right? I'm just going to state, I think this is a 50-50 tie, right? As you say, you can never predict this. I think Martin O'Neill's record in cup ties is not very good against Rangers. He lost a quarter-final at Ibrox to Maclean. He lost a semi-final to Maclean at Hampden. He lost a final to Maclean at Hampden. He lost a Scottish Cup final to Maclean. I don't think his record's that great in cup matches. I'm not saying he's not going to win tomorrow, but I think it's quite atrocious. His cup record and helicopter Sunday ring a bell to these Celtic fans. Just want to put that out there.
Yeah, but again, what happened? Martin's been away from Celtic for 20 years. What happened when Martin was at Celtic is of no relevance. It's what happens tomorrow, a game in isolation. It might be his first and his last return to the derby. So it's all about tomorrow. It's got nothing to do with what happened during Martin O'Neill's first time at Celtic.
How are you feeling about it from a Rangers perspective, William?
I think I agree with the panel. I think it's the first time in a long time that nobody's that sure who's going to win. Do you know that? I think Celtic, they're a good bounce there, 4-0, right? But it's not Falkirk they're playing tomorrow. It's Rangers are playing tomorrow. But I think Rangers, and I think they've stumbled on. See, this manager, he's been there in plain sight, right? Nobody really wanted him, right? But I think we've stumbled on a manager here. I think we've got a good one. What do you think, Barno?
I think there's every evidence to support your case.
What is it about his first couple of league games, William, that gives you that confidence?
You watching Wednesday, right? It wasn't a great game, right? But see his tactical awareness. He did everybody set, and see when Hibs were coming, everybody was on them straight away. He had the team set up, their distances were good, their passing was good. I tell you what, one thing we've over Celtic, in my opinion, tomorrow is physicality. I don't know if the panel will agree. I think our physical edge can maybe win this game.
It'll be interesting. I'm totally with William in the fact that I'm sitting here Saturday. I will not make a prediction to tomorrow once I hear what the teams are. I know Hugh and Sids went very, very quickly on it. I just think it's so tight to call. I think two managers there, a lot to play for, cup final, and whoever wins probably goes in favourites against St Mirren or Motherwell. So it's an exciting Sunday it's going to be.
I think the concern, and I go back over the point, over the last 12 months Celtic have forgotten how to beat Rangers, and that has to be a concern. And William's point is correct. There is a greater physicality about Rangers than Celtic.
Do you think that'll come into play, Hugh? Because you're saying that, with Martin O'Neill, what happened a long time ago doesn't really, it's no concern, it will not affect anything. I think these games, I don't care if Celtic haven't beat Rangers haven't beaten Celtic.
Yeah.
I don't judge it on that, because you look at the both teams, you look at different managers, different styles, everything about it. I think you've just got to say a team on the day will probably, go to the final.
I think that's the obvious thing to say, but I think their form's been fluctuating. I mean, Celtic played well in Europe and then back-to-back defeats in the league and then bounced back against Falkirk. Rangers have managed to string 2 wins back-to-back and we're in November today. So both teams' form hasn't been great this season.
And you can go on to the fact that the last time they played at Hampden, who won the game?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't buy into that situation. I think it'll be whoever plays better, maybe get a wee slice of luck tomorrow.
Yeah.
Referee decide. I don't know anything. Then I think it's so close.
I think that's why it's so hard to predict.
The one thing we all hope for is that it's a better game than the last time the two teams
But
met.
that's easy. That's easy. Because that last game was arguably not only the worst in Old Firm history, possibly the worst game any of us have ever seen. So it'll be much better than that. There's a whole new dynamic at Rangers and at Celtic. Martin O'Neill, by virtue of coming in, has excited people. The 4-0 win and the manner of its achievement has excited people. Danny Roll, as William said, have Rangers stumbled onto a gem who wasn't first or even second choice. So the game tomorrow will be worthy of the fixture that I always say is a separate life form.
Does Danny Roll need to stick with that back three, William?
Absolutely, right. My prediction is, right, I think it'll definitely go extra time, right? Possibly penalties, but I think the way Butland, if it goes to penalties, I maybe see Butland maybe sneaking it because he's got such a good penalty record at the moment.
It's a good point. Jack Butland will feel confident if it does go to penalties.
Well, he's six, yeah. So obviously he's in good form with penalty kicks. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to penalties tomorrow. I think it'll be very tight. It's just one of these games that, as I keep going back to, a bit of individual brilliance could win it for you. But if it goes to penalty kicks, I think Jack Butland would be very confident indeed. But Schmeichel's a good goalkeeper as well.
Well, thank you to William. We will be able to squeeze in one more call with Finlay, but just to keep you updated on what's happening at Hampden, it's still Motherwell 0, St Mirren 0, 20 minutes on the clock. It has been quite end to end, a lot of set pieces so far, but no real substance to the game.
Not many chances, if any. Quite open. We're just watching just now a long throw into the Motherwell box from St Mirren, but there's not been anything that you would say has been clear cut so far.
Yeah, the long throws are back, aren't they? When it comes to football, kind of everywhere.
Two strikers are coming back as well.
Yeah, Keanu Bacchus with the long throw, and I don't think that is going to come to anything. Well, St Mirren have won it back on the edge of the Motherwell box, and they've got themselves a corner. Right, let's speak to Finlay, who is a Rangers fan in Darvel. Finlay, you have the final say. What are you laughing at?
I know who this is.
Oh, here we go.
I'll see you when I get a hold of you. Wait till I tell your mum.
Hi guys, how are you doing?
Oh, good, Finlay. Can we explain this? What's going on here?
Tell them who you are, Finlay.
So Gordon's my mum's partner.
This is fantastic. I cannot wait to watch you squirm for the next couple of minutes.
Depends on Finlay's point.
Yeah, you keep your point very, very. Go.
Short, sweet, as you say.
Right, personal or professional point, Finlay? What are you going for? Game tomorrow. Right, are Rangers winning it?
I'm thinking we could win it. It'll be tight though, as you boys say. It could either go to penalties or it's going to be scrappy. The way both teams are now. I think though Martin O'Neill can't be overlooked. Even though he's been out of the game for years, yeah, football's different, the style's changed, but you just never know. It's an old firm, like, semi-final at Hampden. Like, as you've seen, anything can happen, and you've seen teams, win it out of none, and you think the other one's going to win. So, but Rangers just need to be careful of the certain problematic players for them, and on sides like Tav that can be problematic. As the other night, he shipped some goals for us against Brann. But we just need to watch those areas. It might need to kind of change the formation to adjust. Either have a 4 at the back with Tav or 3 and maybe take him out and put him in for someone else.
Well said, son.
I think Finlay could teach you.
Exactly, Finlay's been listening to my talk at night.
No.
I'll never get over this now. Uncle Gordon sitting beside me.
On you go. Go on,
yeah, well,
answer the man.
I've discussed it with Finlay many times. He'll be hoping that Rangers win tomorrow. He's right. I'll be interested in the starting lineups. I've got to say, Tavernier was left out the other night there. Was that one eye and playing in the semi-final tomorrow? He did come on. A lot of Rangers fans said that, he looked a bit edgy. But interesting to see how the start. I know Finlay wants Rangers.
He's certainly a man who's Danny Rowe, independent of mind. One of the very first things he did was to bring Yousaf Chermiti into the team when callers here were mocking the signing of Chermiti, raging at Kevin Thelwell for spending that type of money on someone who had no track record of scoring goals. But Danny Rowe wasn't afraid to put him in the team, so he took a chance, and I do believe he'll start with Tavernier. But as I say, he's independent of mind, so if he didn't start with Tavernier, you would say, well, that's his way.
Just before we let you go, Finlay, what's your least favourite thing about Gordon Dalziel?
Oh, I don't know. There's not many, actually, to be fair.
Do you call him Uncle Gordon?
No. I would say his impatience can be annoying, but...
Oh, thanks very much, Finn.
Well, thank you to Finlay. A good point made there by Finlay.
Good knowledge.
The look on your face when
worried.
I read out Finlay, a Rangers fan in Darvel, you are
I knew who it was right away. Let me tell you.
That could have gone so badly for you. You're lucky Finlay was feeling alright and only wanted to make a point about the football. Still goalless between Motherwell and St Mirren. Very quickly, Hugh Keevins, how do you sum up what you've seen today and what we're going to see this evening and tomorrow?
Well, very exciting day for Hearts. It's a great time to be a fan of the Heart of Midlothian.
Oh, goal for St Mirren. They have taken the lead at Hampden. That is a huge goal for Stephen Robinson's men, and it's Mikael Mandron that's got it.
And he deserved that goal, and Stephen Robinson delighted. Now the fight is on for Jens Bertel Askew, but long way to go yet. St Mirren are not in the final, and neither are Rangers or Celtic. So all to play for, starting now, finishing 5 o'clock tomorrow.
Yes, thank you for getting involved today, whether it is just listening in, whether it is on the phones or watching on the live stream. Thanks to Gordon Dalziel, Simon Donnelly, and to Hugh Keevins, and to Gordon Dalziel's future stepson Finlay as well. It is, of course, as always, on a Saturday, the GBX that's up next.
Hey business owners, the digital switchover is coming, and it's not just for business landlines. CCTV, payment systems and alarms could be affected. We urge you to switch to digital with BT by December 2025. You'll also benefit from faster connections, greater security and cost savings sooner. We'll help make the switch as smooth as possible so you can spend more time doing what you do best, running your business. Start your switch to digital with BT today. BT Business is urging customers to migrate off the old PSTN by the end of 2025. The final closure date for PSTN is 31st of Jan 2027.